everybody, and welcome to Leverage here on the Shadowcasters Network, where we're playing the official Leverage tabletop RPG using the Cortex Plus system. Hi, everybody, and welcome back.
Hello!
It's been a month.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, we unfortunately had a couple of technical difficulties. Couldn't have everybody on 2 weeks ago, but that's okay, because we got to playtest lo-fi cigarettes, which was really cool. And hey, thanks for that resub, Gen Human. Thank you very much. Yeah, so lo-fi cigarettes, we got to play this little indie RPG that I created about depressed roommates smoking a cigarette in a cyberpunk future. And yeah, that was some deep stuff.
It was super depressing.
Yeah, I was depressed as hell.
It was very depressing and very. It was an incredible experience, and that is in no way hyperbole. I said so at the time, and I still think that it was very good. I feel closer to Scrim, you, and Oz after that experience.
Still been thinking about it.
Yeah, right? It lingered. Anyway, so follow me so that we can so you can see further updates about it. It'll be coming out soonish, whenever it's ready. But who cares? Because today we're talking about Leverage. So I'm gonna just go ahead real quick. We'll go around the table, introduce ourselves. Let's get ourselves reacquainted with who we are as both people and characters. And thanks for that resub, Elusive. Let's start with Scrim.
Well, hello everyone. I am Scrim. Tonight I'm going to be playing Marika, who is the mastermind of this group, a former thief and gymnast from Eastern Europe who has, for unknown reasons, is spending some time in Miami for the time being.
Can we appreciate for a moment how only in RPGs do you get to say things like former thief and gymnast?
That's why we do it.
Bub.
Hi, I'm Bub. I'm playing Dean, as some of you guys have come to love and or hate at this point, or love to hate. I am a hitter. I'm the team's hitter, and I have a flair for personality and a desire for dated cinema, as we discussed last time. And who knows what happens? He's pretty much open to the idea of whatever comes his way, as long as he's helping people out.
Sabrina.
So I am Sloan, and Sloan is a troublemaker, likes to thwart authority whenever possible. My goal is to help as many people as possible while also sticking it to the man. And I'm like a really good fencer, and I know how to ride a horse, I'm good at
The
this.
usual stuff.
The usual stuff.
The usual.
Stuff that everybody else knows how to do too.
Yeah. And finally, Bobby.
Yes, I am playing Clementine. She is a sort of southern gal who's our crew's grifter. Goes around and sort of the face of the group, does the talking, fast talking, and street cons as well. She likes to move fluidly in and out of situations, and she loves money. That's what has motivated her over her years in this business, but has joined up with this crew, of course, because she's trying to, like we all are, stick it to the man now because she's fed up with all of this stuff. She means business now.
She does mean business.
As we learned last time.
Yes. So we had to come up with new distinctions for the characters after playing a session. Dean already had his Clothes Cannot Contain Me for an excellent showing in our practice game. However, in our Discord chat, we in shadowcasters.network/Discord, wink, we went ahead and had the audience help and discuss. And so, yeah, Clementine's third distinction is now means business. Sloane's is fandom geek, and Marika's is adds insult to injury. So, As a reminder, distinctions add a D8 or a D4 as you see fit, or a D4 and a plot point is what you would get if you do a D4. So yeah. All right. Also, thanks to everybody who's like helping out on this hype train in chat. Keep it going. I've never seen a hype train before. This is new.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've been streaming, so like, yeah. Thanks.
Like a month,
this is exciting. It's like a month. Yeah.
Yeah. As a streamer, they're probably cool. As a user, I find them annoying. Like as a watcher, because it destroys it like blocks my whole chat. But
like
we
the top of
love
my
it.
chat.
We love it here. I'm gonna leave.
Send
the
your
call
email to
again.
Twitch.
And also,
leave the
yeah,
call and
and
join again because I'm getting like bad connection or lag or something from here.
sure, do that. Also, shout out to all of Bub's people in chat.
Welcome.
Hey guys.
Welcome. Yeah. Love having a nice big happy family to come and watch Bub make an ass out of himself and wrestle gators.
Every time. Every time. They live for it.
All right. So, previous session was you all took down a art gallery who was actually just posing as an art gallery. It was actually a drug front. Took them down more or less. The ringleader got away, but she is currently wanted, and the Iron and Galley gallery has been shut down along with those operations. So more or less good. She's on the run. But you now have a new job ahead of you to make up for the fact that you kind of sort of dropped the ball on the last one. You almost had it ready to go. So let's begin, shall we? Let's.
Quick rules question. Do we start with plot points?
Yes.
I'm forgetting.
Everybody
How many?
starts with 1. Am I? Yes. Everybody starts with 1.
Yeah, that's
Thank
accurate.
you.
We start with 1.
Cool. Yep.
All right. So,
Is anybody else having any weird like laggy cutting out audio issues?
Slightly.
A little bit.
I'm
yeah.
mostly catching it from Oz's end, but
A
it's
little bit from Oz, yeah.
in brief.
oh
brief
Jesus
way.
Christ, no! Don't tell
Well,
me
I was
that.
getting it from everybody, and Scrim's video keeps freezing or turning into a chessboard. So
Discord sucks.
I can almost host Zoom. Just saying.
You know what? I tried Zoom when we were doing our Blades game. I tried just recording it to see what would happen, and it still is not allowing me to record. So we will have a discussion about this.
Yeah.
Here, let's just change the region, see what happens. U.S. Central. There. Hope that helps
Hello.
everybody.
It might.
We're now 1
definitely
hour
that.
earlier.
man, the hour of that
Fucking
game
time.
was amazing.
That was a great hour of playing Leverage, everyone.
Swift.
Yeah.
Quite swift.
I can't wait to see where the aliens take us next.
So let's zoom ourselves back to the good old Orange Grove. The Orange Grove rooftop bar. We're gonna say it is currently daytime, so sun's full out in force. It is not cold. It is it's a sunny day. It's about 95 degrees. The misters on the fans are full blast. All of the drinks are iced right now.
Oh yeah.
And tell me, what are you all doing at the Orange Grove as you wait for your next client?
Offering free mint juleps to all of our patrons.
The bar cheers whoever happens to be on this rooftop bar. They're like, ooh, mint juleps.
Trying to keep people in the bar, as this bar is mine. So I'm the owner of the establishment. So I try to, as frequently as possible, annoy our business manager by doing things like offering free drinks to everyone to keep this a happening spot.
Tell me about the business manager. What are you thinking he's like, or she's like, or they're like?
It's business manager's name is Frank, and he's kind of a square-jawed, pencil tie wearing, like wireframe glasses kind of fella. He's not usually at the bar, but because why would he be? But I have meetings with him every week, and he's always telling me things like you can't offer free drinks to everybody, you can't hold contests where you're having the contestants eat as many wings as they can for free. You can't you can't let some of the patrons light things on fire in our establishment. Cough, Sloan. Stuff like that. You can't threaten people and point guns at people after hours in our establishment. Things like that.
He said he was certain that it was a health violation to do belly shots off of an alligator. I'm not really sure what that's about, though.
Right. Like that.
Yum.
He sounds lame.
And I usually just twirl my hair and ask him, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do, Clementine. My business is going to go under if you keep doing this.
Well, I pay you to, or you get paid. I don't do any. You pay yourself to make sure that doesn't happen. So I am very confident.
How about I just start running it? Yeah. How about I just start running it up on your tab?
Listen,
deal?
You're so good at your job because you're able to keep things working. Okay.
Because I'm able to keep a tab.
I'll do what I can. It's hot outside right now. If people are going to come anywhere, they're going to come here because the mint juleps. Look, we grow the mint in the back. It's do we? I don't know if that's true or not. Somebody told me.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's possible.
And we're doing our best here, Frank.
So camera just sort of shifts away from this conversation as it mutes over to any of you three who want to discuss what they're doing.
I can kick it off.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's actually really simple. Dean is, when he's not in that mission state and trying to burst out of his clothing, he's likely now training his new pet alligator.
In the bar?
Yeah.
No, you're not. No,
totally.
You are not.
Totally. It's not working.
That would never happen.
It's not working. It's not working at all, but it's not going to stop him from trying. Maybe if it's just even it's in the basement or something like that.
I would, maybe if you had a little baby alligator, I would allow that. That you could carry around, but not a big 10-foot.
Oh, I'm not gonna carry it around. That just sounds irresponsible.
You're gonna walk it on a leash.
Yeah.
People do that here. They do that on the beach.
What?
Miami.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So pet alligator on a leash.
Yes, at least as safe as it can be. He's not going to lose his digits, right? He's daring, but he's not that stupid.
Mm-hmm. Well, alligators are generally lazy anyway, so you're pretty good. You can be pretty good at teasing and then pulling it out before it snaps down.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try that at home, though.
No.
Doesn't sound wise.
I'll leave it to a professional, which is why I'm trying to train him.
Yeah. So you're a bit of an oddity here at the bar. People will come and be like, "Oh my God, can I pet it?" No, don't pet it. It's gonna bite you.
By the way, his name is definitely Godzilla. He's writing it down. There we go.
It's official.
Pet baby alligator Godzilla. Okay.
Oh, we can build a little lagoon for him. This is. I like this.
It's now an asset.
I just want a plot point for if you really want it. All right, so while Dean is petting his alligator, camera pans over to our next individual.
I'll take it. So I would like to be in our rooftop garden. I'm assuming that we have one. And I am tending the mint. And I've also got Titania open next to me because I'm looking up ways to grow things that don't usually grow in the sun. And the disastrous sun that is Miami heat. So I'm just looking up to see how we can spice up our drinks. I promised Clementine I would do that. Get some new and innovative drinks going.
Oh, yeah. I remember I made a couple of sample cocktails. So you could do a Sleepy Hollow, which is absinthe and mezcal rum bitters, and then you torch and smoke some rosemary sprig into it. So then it arrives smoking to your table.
Yep. So I've got rosemary, mint, I've got basil, all kinds of basil. We've got the purple basil, spicy basil, just anything you can think of. I've also got some sweet potato because I feel like we can do something with that.
It's the new thing in cocktails.
I've also got habaneros. Yes, thank you, Floros. I've got all kinds of spicy peppers. And I'm also trying to figure out how to make a black garden. So black fruits and vegetables and flowers specifically, just one section of it.
That's
we can metal up some of these drinks.
Yeah.
All right. Very nice, very nice.
Eggplant.
Ooh, yes. Purple.
Pumpkin.
And yeah, finally the camera pans away from the garden to Marika.
Marika is sitting next to Sloan, just a couple ways down. I think there's lounge chairs on this patio. She's wearing an oversized pair of sunglasses and is reading a book written in Czech with a picture of a steamy photo of two half-naked people in an embrace on it. It's very clear what this book is about. So I think that's probably the best moment for a pair of gentlemen in their early 30s who just kind of you look up from your book and they're looking down at you and they're like, You're Marika, I assume? She pulls down the sunglasses and says, "Yes. To whom do I owe the pleasure of this interruption?"
I'm Marcos, and this is my husband Jamie. We reached out to you.
Marcos and Jamie, welcome. She very deliberately places a bookmark in the book and closes it. Pulls her sunglasses up above her hair and stands to her full height of 5'2". And extends a hand. Pleasure to meet you, gentlemen.
Yeah, and they're both pretty well dressed. They don't look like they're particularly rich or anything, but they just look like they're, fashionable on a budget, right? And they are, but no, I mean and they look like pretty pleasant people in shorts and polos and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. Would you like to discuss business in a more private venue? We have a back room that might be suitable.
That would be fantastic, actually. It says the one who said his name is Marcos, and says, and those cocktails look really, really good.
Yes, Clementine knows her stuff. That's for sure. We'll. I'm sure she offered you a mint julep already. We'll.
No, but I am happy to take one if they're complimentary.
I believe they are today. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think Marika kind of she has sort of a subtle signal that she gives to each of the crew members they know this is time, business is happening, and brings them to the back room.
Can I say that I'm having my meeting with Frank in the room that we normally meet people in?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, in like that back corner. It's actually more of like it's an exterior corner of the building, the rooftop.
Sure. Sure.
And that's like where like the gazebo is. It's kind of like a gazebo, like, you know, wooden planks, overhung, and then like some white curtains, and you know, the fan with the mister. And yeah. So Frank turns, sees Marika and her clients approaching, and Frank knows the drill and says, "All right, fine. 2 more mint juleps, I assume."
That's right. Thanks, Frank. We got some stuff to take. Nice meeting. And I'm sure you'll get that taken care of for me.
Frank rolls his eyes and just walks off briskly to get the mint juleps.
Hello, fellas. Don't you worry about him. He'll be right back with your drinks.
So we'll cut to, like, you know, drinks have been had, right? Like, we just focus on the glasses that are like emptied and condensed with like the sweat of like melting ice on the outside of the glass. And what Marcos and Jamie have basically explained to you is that so Marcos is the grandson of a landlord. And this landlord, who is basically like set up this, who has like a family business set up, right? Rents some apartments over in, you know, regular areas of the town, nothing like super high end or anything. And he has been giving thousands of dollars at a time away to some woman who visits him. And the reason that the grandson Marcos, his husband Jaime, is involved is because he is actually also an accountant, and he's basically said, look, if this continues, the business is going to go under and you are going to basically not inherit anything. And the problem overall, right, is that Marcos Marcos's grandfather, Florentino, basically created this business, and that's how like they were able to maintain everybody. He grew up with his grandfather, and his grandmother Juanita had just recently passed away, and it was only like 6 months before this woman suddenly showed up, right? And so Juanita was like the one who like really planned on leaving everything and like had everything ready for him to go, and now he's basically concerned that there's not going to be an inheritance whatsoever, and that this business is going to go under because some woman is just like siphoning off the money. Now the problem, of course, is also that the business does belong to his grandfather, so it's his money, so he can do whatever he really pleases with it. So he is just basically worried, Marcos is worried, that if he continues pressing too hard, that he'll basically leave him out of the will and just hand the business over to this new woman.
Have you met this woman before she showed up? Was she familiar to you?
Yeah, I've had some run-ins with her. She tries to sneak out if she sees my car parking outside of my grandfather's house. But yeah, no, I've seen her on occasion. But yeah, she tries to stay away from me because she knows that I wouldn't be very happy and I would cause a stink.
Marika turns to Jamie and says, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the books precisely, but do you know how he's recording the payments that he's making to this woman? Or are they personal?
He's basically just, this is Jaime speaking, he basically says he's withdrawing cash from the account. Like he'll go to the bank, he'll go to the bank from the business account, withdraw like $4,000 or $5,000. This happens like probably once or twice a month. He's just been draining the accounts. We're like, it's getting desperate. Like at first it was like, okay, maybe it's just like a piece on the side. He can have whatever fun he wants, I guess. But at this point, like it's just getting really over the top, and we're scared that there's not going to be a business left after this is all done.
This is a sole proprietorship?
Yes, it's his. So we're obviously, again, we don't really have a lot of say in that business, but we want to protect it. You know, his grandmother was really looking forward to leaving this to him, and now his grandfather is, I don't know what's gotten over him, but
so
it's
you
really just an insult to
worried about
memory.
this lady is taking advantage of grandfather? Is that what this is about?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And
Who pays the property taxes?
He does. Now that said, all of the Marco says, yeah, he does. I handle the books. More so, my husband handles the books. We do it because my grandfather's actually illiterate. So he's like straight from like the farmlands of Cuba. So he's like never really bothered to read, and he's gotten by just fine having, you know, my grandmother basically handle all the books for him, and then I ended up taking over as a result, and I just pass them off to my husband.
have you confronted him about this woman?
I have, and he has been insufferable. Like, he will defend her tooth and nail, and she's literally just some nobody, and I don't know what to do. And like, I'm worried that if I keep pushing, he's going to turn against me. Mm-hmm. He's already turned against me pretty much.
Interesting.
I have an important question to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we look into this for you. And I'm not saying we are, but let's say we do. Let's say we look into this for you and you find out that grandfather is giving money to this lady who's a perfectly fine, nice lady who loves your grandfather, and your grandfather loves the lady, and he just wants to spend his money that's legally his on somebody, whomever he chooses. What if that's what we find out?
I mean, if that's what you find out, then I guess we can't really complain, but I very much doubt it.
Yes, I understand very much that you don't think that that's the case, and that's, I think, why we might all be inclined to help you out. I just want to make sure that we're clear here that we're not in the business of strong arming someone into doing something that they don't want to do of their own free will.
No, of course.
Can you describe this woman for us? How old is she?
She's probably like 35 or so. She's long, kind of brown hair. Usually wears it in a ponytail. A little bit of a chubby face.
She's a young lady.
I mean, I guess. Yeah. No. He's 80. She's 35.
Things. I mean, I don't want to be ageist, but that changes things.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the. Mm-hmm. And and here's the thing, like, in the conversations I've had with my grandfather, she'll show up for like 20 minutes and leave, and then not come back for like a week, and somehow that merits $5,000 out of his bank account.
What's her name?
I don't know.
Really?
He refuses to tell us.
Interesting.
All right.
It doesn't. I'm with you here on this one, Clementine. It feels strange.
Mm-hmm.
Like it sort of feels like he's maybe just trying to soil his geriatric oats. Forgive me for saying that, but
right, I understand. I think that Florentino's motivations are probably pretty pure. Well, as pure as sexy motivations can be. But I said that with a smile, by the way, and a chuckle.
Yeah.
But I'm not so sure about. I can understand some suspicion about this woman, and I understand a grandson wanting to make sure that his grandfather's not being taken advantage of. So I don't have a problem with looking at this. I just wanted to make sure that we're being transparent about how things are done here.
If it makes any difference, again, I grew up with my grandfather. He is the stingiest man I've ever met in my life. He wouldn't really give me much growing up. And so this is just really out of character for him.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she's extorting him?
I don't know. I honestly, the way that he talks about her, it just seems like he's enamored with her. Like, honestly enamored with her. And
have you seen them become physically or even remotely intimate to any degree?
God. No, but he loves to brag about it. He's disgusting.
Well, I'm meeting. I'm probably going to be disgusting too. I say that like holding my alligator.
All right. Well, now, like Clementine said, we can do some preliminary investigations, but if we find no wrongdoing,
I mean, if there's no wrongdoing, then we just have to suck it up. I mean, we do generally pretty well. It's not like we need this business to move forward. It's just,
right.
I would hate to see my grandmother's hard work go
I get
to
it.
waste.
You don't have to mince words. We don't want no gold digging lady coming in and taking advantage of your grandfather. Okay, I totally get it. I get it. We'll make sure that that's not happening.
Yeah, it would just, at least, even if there was no wrongdoing, if this was like the purest thing on the planet, which I doubt, at the very least, that would put my mind at ease. But I just want answers, and I want it to stop.
Fair enough. It does sound a touch fishy.
Did he say how he met her? How'd they fall in love?
It was like, the story isn't particularly clear. It's like mutual acquaintances, like lady at a church who introduced to some woman who was who needed financial help, and then like, I don't know, just it's like somehow, friend of a friend of a friend lands in his lap.
Got it. And the money is moved definitely through cash withdrawal?
Yes.
He hasn't written any checks or anything like that?
Nope.
All cash.
All cash.
Does he take her out to dinner anywhere that you know of?
That's the thing. No. Literally all she does, visit and leave.
Is this on a regular basis? Does she have a scheduled appointment with him or something?
It doesn't really seem to be, because again, they try to, if they knew this, or if I knew a schedule, they would avoid it on purpose, right? So, and then if I show up randomly, they try to evade me. So I guess whenever convenience is her,
does he have a cell phone?
Yeah, it's like one of those old phones,
But it's a cell phone. He doesn't use a landline.
It's like an old Nokia.
Telephone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The ones that clap open.
I think we can figure this one out for you.
All right. Is there anything else you think we need to know?
Honestly, I don't know. I can give you his address, and you can, I don't know, maybe stake it out. See.
Yeah, thanks for the tips on how we can handle it, but we got it from here.
Well, all right.
I'm kidding. I'm joking, man.
And so we haven't really had a chance. What is the rate for this exactly?
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we our job is not necessarily to we get paid through the
let's put it this way, that's nothing for you to be concerned about.
We'll get paid is what we're saying.
Yeah.
We have an alternative revenue
but that was not,
stream.
despite the potential misinterpreted accent of my East European friend here, that was not a threat.
They look at each other and they're like, okay, I'm not sure what that means, but thank you.
You don't have to worry about it. Our job is to help people, and we get plenty of satisfaction out of that. And that is 100% the honest truth.
Sure. Okay.
Let's not ask questions.
No, you know what? Honestly, at this point, because again, the problem is because all of this is basically above board legal, quote unquote, you know, like there's really nobody we can go to. And if you're willing to take it and you're able to pay yourselves and self-fund, I mean, I guess, sure.
Yep. Our business model is
Thank you.
Is good.
Thank you.
We have our own people who look after that. Maybe I'll have Jamie take a look at it.
Investors. We're fine.
Yeah. Jaime's like got his mint julep like. All right, well, let's we'll leave you professionals to your work then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Go on your way out. Ask Frank for another drink on me. He'll love it.
Yeah, and Marcos is like, yeah, I'm gonna need one.
Well, this is a lot of nothing to go on. Marika turns to the rest of the team.
Nothing. Yeah, I think we have so many things.
Oh, well, that's where you come in, Sloan. What can you find out for us?
So we've got an address. I can look up property records. I can find out who owns it. I can look at tax payments. I can look at when it was purchased, and I can find the neighborhood if there's a church nearby. I mean, he's an 80-year-old man, right? So how far is he going to go for church? So we can probably find out who introduced them. I can get you that. What else? Oh, I can look up his bank statements. Hack his bank. There's so many things, guys.
This just sort of sounds like high-class Miami fellatio. Like it could just be that, but I'm willing to entertain if we think that there's more there. Who's to say that we can even drum up anything that's going to be of value? Well, we could just wait until the next meet and then just tag her car.
This story sets off a lot of red flags that I'm telling you, I've been in this woman's shoes before doing exactly what she's doing. So I think there's something to look into.
High class fellatio?
Yeah.
You gotta pay the bills.
Well, I don't judge. I just what were you doing exactly?
I've done my share of conning old men. Let's
okay. You know. Well, I guess now's your chance to make reparations.
Yes.
Dean files that away somewhere. I'm not sure where yet.
Let me ask you, how does a callback work again? Would you explain that to me?
Yeah, so if you hold on, let me look at the character sheets again now, remember. All right, so we've done 2 jobs so far. We've done the fracking job and the contemporary art job. So if you reference something done in either of those 2 jobs that would be useful in the current job, you get to use it as if you've spent a plot point. So you just kind of check mark it for this session that you've done a callback to that job, and then that's basically a free plot point for you. But it just has to relate to what you've done. So for example, in the contemporary art job, right, you walked into a police station and pretended to be a lawyer. So you might see like, oh, it's like that time I pretended to be a lawyer. I just need to be a lawyer again. And then you just do a callback to that, and then you get a free plot point.
Oh, I see.
To do something lawyery.
So I wanted to say to Sloan, I wanted to be like, hey, Sloan, you remember that time when we back when we did the fracking job and we had to swipe that, we pulled that switcheroo on the cell phone? I was thinking we might do something similar to this guy, find out what's going on with the phone calls he gets from the lady and put some sort of tap on his phone. You think you could handle that?
I could totes handle that, and we could clone his phone and get new calls as they come in as well.
Is that how, oh, he just took his headphones off. I was gonna say, is that how?
Kitty wants out.
Cat has demands.
I didn't realize I trapped my kitty in the room.
Is that how a callback works?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you do something related to the to that phone clone, then you get a plot point.
Oh, I would like to give an honorary plot point to Miss Fortune for saying clones the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that plot point is just basically going to be able to be used as like to create an asset or something, or whatever you would use the plot point on.
Yeah,
for
correct. Plot points, as a reminder, I'm going to pull this up for you all. So you can use it to include more dice in your roll. So if usually you just take the two highest. Oh, hey, Riot House. Thanks for that raid. Welcome to our leverage tabletop RPG.
Hey, Riot House Entertainment.
We just got our job, which is to investigate a potential lady who is taking advantage of an old man and his money with potentially sexual things. So we have so you can include more dice. So usually you pick the top two. Include means you get a third. Activate a talent that requires a plot point, or create an asset. So you get a D6 asset.
I see.
If you spend 2 plot points, you keep the asset for the rest of the job. Otherwise, it's just an asset for right now. D6.
I see. So basically, I've made the callback now, and now we have that plot point that can be spent in association with that callback.
Correct.
Okay. Got it.
Very cool.
All right, cool. So do you want to do that now?
Yeah. Let's do it. And I mean, I'll make the callback, and I'll keep the plot point for now. So yeah, that's where I think we should start, basically.
If that's the case, no, it's more of like an immediate thing. You don't keep the plot point. Like, you don't hold on to the plot point. It's like when it becomes relevant in the job. So like you could reference anything when it would potentially become relevant, and then you immediately use it as a free plot point.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. Now, like Sloane can do it, for example. She could be like, oh yeah, remember that time I did the thing? And then she could do that right now. But since it doesn't really relate to you...
There, I gotcha.
Clementine,
yeah, because I didn't really do that part of that job, so I'm just giving you the idea.
Right. So where do we want to start?
So that's one of the arms of the attack. I think we should approach is getting his cell phone, cloning his phone, so that we can get some information about this person that she calls. I want to know what messages are being sent. I want to know what phone calls are being made. I want to know more about how this person is contacting Florentino. Then I think after that, we'll have a lot more information. Like, we could tail this person. We could, I feel like it's a little, we could just stake out his place, but that seems sort of like why not take better advantage of time by cloning his phone so that we could, we can know more about when, like, it's a lot of wasted time just staking out his place. We never know when
find a meeting time.
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
Do we have any pictures or anything like that? We just have a description of this woman.
Correct.
Okay, no pictures. And what was their business again? What was the family business?
Landlords.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a couple of he's got like a couple of like little apartment complexes, little like 8 apartments or so per building. A couple of buildings.
Like small multi-family buildings.
Yeah, like little 1-bedrooms.
So our objective is to ascertain her intentions, right? And to see whether they are honorable. And 2 is, if they're not honorable, we are... do we want Grandpa to see the light, as it were?
I mean, if he's being extorted.
I think the end of the day, they just want to make sure that she's out of the picture, and he's going to do with that inheritance what was intended for it to be done.
Right.
So-
Stop getting scammed.
So what might make sense is to actually make him see the light, so to speak, so that he doesn't just get duped again immediately afterwards.
Right. Okay. Well, I think if we get his phone cloned, then we'll be on the right track to figuring out a meeting time. It's probably a good place to start. We can maybe we can tail him or we can go to his house as like security.
Or you can do both.
Like do some kind of grift.
We never found out how illiterate he actually is.
It's true.
It may just be like a quick phone call, like meet you here, because I don't think he's going to be texting her back and forth unless somebody else is handling it. I'm on board, but I still think we should probably watch and maybe try to get into his place.
That might be the way to get access to his phone too. So maybe if we are staking out, wait till he leaves.
Or we can pose as potential tenants.
Oh, that's another good way.
I like that.
Inside this information, does he have a cell phone?
Yeah, he said
Or does he have a...
they said he did. Yeah, like
Okay, he
the
does have a
old,
cell
that
phone.
like clappy kind of old flip phone.
clamshell? Gotcha. All right.
Dinosaur phone.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So-
Well,
We
So
can
it's a
pose as
stakeout then?
tenants, and then I
Slash.
can bug it.
we can pose as new tenants, especially if he's still handling it.
Sounds good.
All right. So let's skip ahead, shall we? Let's go straight to where does everybody want to be on? Because it seems like there's the stakeout team and the pose as tenants team and get access to his phone, his cell phone.
Yeah.
So what's the plan?
So Clementine will be wearing running clothes, like yoga pants and just exercise jogging clothes. And the other part of the team, through whatever means they decide, because I'm not in the habit of micromanaging my team, whatever means that they find is they're best able to do it, is to get him out onto the street and somehow get him to take out his phone and have to do something with it, so that I run by and run into him, knock his phone on the ground, and switcheroo with some sort of a burner replacement temporary that I order on Amazon.
I can do some pose as a door-to-door salesman and or like promoter of some kind and get him out on the lawn somehow. I'm not as grifty as you though.
I mean,
I'm
I'm pretty
thiefy.
If your potential people, maybe does he live in the place that he?
No, he's got a separate
Yeah.
house.
But is it next to or nearby or?
It's nearby. It's like it's maybe like 5-minute drive away from the house.
Well, so somebody needs to check out, needs a tour of the building because they're a potential tenant. That's going to get them out of the place and make it so that somebody else or two can sneak in and hit. We could be hitting two birds with one stone.
I think so.
During this. And so you know, Marika and Clementine can be on grab the phone duty, while Sloan and Dean are on
House duty.
B&E duty. House duty.
It's perfect. I think I've got a suit for this. I might even be able to call it back from our experience of suiting up and going in. I can be a meter reader.
Ooh, that's right.
Nice.
we could be we could dress up in I can make FPL uniforms.
Florida Power and Light, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
All right.
Way to go.
All right, so you are the FPL guys, and then Clementine, Marika. Marika's what is that Marika's doing?
I'm not 100% sure now because we need a tenant, right? So I guess I could be the potential tenant.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You're looking for a place, and you want a
Yeah.
tour of this place, and you want him to give you a tour.
Yeah.
Okay, so where is everyone positioned? And then we'll start from there.
Remember, Marika, your number one goal is to eventually get him on the sidewalk looking at his phone so that I can run into him really hard.
Are we at his house or his building?
In front of
You guys can set it
building.
up however you want. So if you
Got it, okay.
you know, if you said like, you're free to say like, oh yeah, we set up an appointment, and so now we're over at the apartments, leaving his house open and available to.
Right.
There we go.
thieve.
Let's do it.
He's 80, and he's kind of gross and skeevy, but he's 80. Like, how hard are we gonna have to hit this guy to just have him oops his phone to the floor?
It should be pretty easy, I hope.
Pretty easy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hope he's actually super skeevy and Clem just hits him with the old wild stare, those feminine wiles.
Hey there, fella.
Perfect.
Love it. Okay, so here we'll start with. Oh, I like this song. Okay. Okay, so we'll start from the point of view of Sloan and Dean in their FPL meter reader outfits, and they're just like fake tapping and like, you know, doing the recording on their tablets, and as this like 80-year-old kind of like squat man, silver hair, just huffs his way out of his home and hops in a car and drives off, leaving the house currently empty.
Cool.
This could be a lot easier than I thought.
So, I'd like to have a thick mustache. Like just like a very thick mustache and a cap.
Are you spending a plot point on an asset?
Yeah, I mean, you could do.
I designed the disguises, right?
She's just
So,
got her
like-
hair.
But if you
Loop
spend a
in her
plot
ear.
point, it could
Right,
be
exactly.
a mustache of convincing.
Plus one grifter.
Yeah, D6 mustache. D6 convincing mustache.
I don't know. I think
I was
I'd
just
like
joking.
to-
I was just joking, Sabrina. Don't get caught up on that.
I was like, because I didn't preserve my plot points last time.
Yeah.
So I'd like to keep it for something real
Right.
later.
That's cool.
So it's a wispy. It's like a very thick, full mustache that's like too big for my face. Like just a little too long and stark. And then I'd like to, I guess, what does the building look like? Are we going in through the front or the back? Where are the meters?
The meters are on the sidewalk, so it's like a gated house, like the iron, you know, the kind of iron gates that you can see through with the spearheads up atop. They're not very high. They're like they're about as tall as a regular person and average person rather. And then you can like just then it's like a one-story. It's just a one-story. It's got some decent land, but yeah, from your scoping of the place, there's a front door and a back door.
Okay. So do you want to do we want to split up?
First, I want to see if they have a sign or a sticker in any of the windows that indicate that they have a security service.
Ooh, okay. Let's go for that, shall we?
80-year-old man. Either he's completely locked down to the teeth because he's got barred fence, or he is so aloof to the idea of protection that his doors are unlocked.
Right. So let's roll alertness plus thief for that one.
Okay. Would that be for me or for Sloan?
For you, Dean.
Okay. So we've got D8 and a D8. All right. Got it. Bonus dice. Let's see. Can I use
do a
here?
distinction. You can do a D8 or a D4 with a plot point. If you take the D4, start racking up those plot points.
I could use those. Yeah. The D4 and let's see. What would I be gaining that from, or just because I'm taking it?
Yeah, you could take foolhardy, winging it, or clothes cannot contain me. Which one of those would apply?
For looking for an ADT sign, that's rough. I have no idea. That's so, like, actually being careful is so against Dean's MO. Gee.
Well, you could use it to, if you're winging it, just kind of hope that it's okay. Like, right? Like, if it's a negative aspect, just try to get in without. I guess it doesn't really work. But anyway.
I think I'll save it this time. I'll save it and see. I've got a couple of talents that might actually be really useful for this. So we'll save it and see what we can come up with here.
Ooh, a 12.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna do regular fence D6 and just D6 plus D6 regular fence regular house, both D6. So I have to roll a perfect 12. Yeah. Okay. So you see, you don't see any ADT stickers.
Okay.
All that you see is the fence has like one of those gates that are unlocked with a clicker, so like it could roll to the side. And it has it also has like a key gate as well, so that you can unlock or pick the lock to that, so you can get in. But yeah, it looks like the house has no alarms.
Perfect. That's easy enough. Then I'm going to. I'd like to see if we can try to find a key. If there's something that we can do to get in to the front door or to the back, then there would probably be a spare key. Does he have like rocks or plants or anything like that? A rug on his porch or anything like that we might be able to find?
It's behind the fence, so you would have to get over.
Oh, so we've got to get in. We've got to get in first. Perfect. Then.
It's an electric fence, right?
It's a
like
what
it's
do you
a.
mean? It's like a
iron slider.
It's the iron bar. Yeah, it's a slider fence.
Yeah.
So, but it's unlocked electronically with the clicker, or you can pick a lock to get through like a little side gate door.
So it's gonna have some kind of fob with it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can like dummy the electrical system to make it think that there's a clicker opening it or
Yeah.
a car.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's call that alertness plus thief.
Okay. So that's and then shall I use suave?
Ooh, suave.
I mean, you do have
Get
that
in.
fancy mustache.
Precisely.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
you suavely roll up and just like tinker with it, like all is well. Keeping an eye out for anybody. Yeah, that's fine. Do you want to make that a complication, like a D4 potential complication, or
Yeah.
do you want to make it a D8? All right, cool. So get a plot point and add a D4 to your alertness plus thief roll. I'm gonna say this is a again regular house, regular security, D6 plus D6. So I need you to beat a 6.
Bam.
Ooh, okay, 13. You beat it, but with a complication because you rolled a 1. So let's.
Does that mean I get 2 plot points?
Yeah, whenever you roll a 1, you get a complication, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
But
So now
yeah,
you're at 3 plot
because you
points.
rolled
Nice.
a 1 also, right? So.
I rolled a 1, so you get an opportunity. But opportunities are only triggered if you have a talent that says a trigger on an opportunity.
So you get 1 plot point, is what we're saying, I guess.
No, Sloane gets 1 plot point for choosing to do a D4 for her distinction instead of a D8, which is more likely to turn up into a 1. So that's kind of like the way that they get you to roll your D4s. And then she gets a plot point for actually rolling a 1.
Oh, wow. So, okay. I didn't know
That's-
you get the plot point just for choosing to roll it. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Man,
That's
I'm
why
rolling
like
D4s
now is a good
now.
time to
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
No, that's why like early on it's a good time to like use your distinctions as negatives, complicate the job, but then have a bunch of plot points to get yourself out of it. Potentially.
I should have been in the B&E group. I could have used my discerning eye as a negative and try to steal stuff.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna say the complication is nosy neighbors D6.
Ooh.
Who are looking out the window and seeing somebody in an FPL uniform fiddling with the electronics, while another FPL uniform person is just walking around the fence, not anywhere near the meter.
It's that damn neighborhood watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always up there.
What are the chances that we notice them by chance? Like, is that high? Likely?
I'm gonna say, like, in true leverage fashion, right? For the humor, you pop open the electronics, right? The gate rolls open, and then you're like, "Ha!" And then you just see like somebody out in the corner of your eye, like it just rack focuses to a window down the street, and you just see like the curtains close, like their eyes bug out, like. Ah.
And you see like a hair roller thing just like
hair
disappear.
rollers, and she's on her cell phone.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And closes the curtains.
We don't get a oye chico. I'd like to wiggle my mustache because that was a suggestion from chat and I like it.
Excellent. All right, so you're all working on some borrowed time. So you're gonna have to you run up to the door. I'm gonna say, yeah, like you're searching, right? It's pretty easy. You like lift up the rug. There's a key, and you can get into the house. We're gonna cut over to Marika, who as Florentino's car pulls up, and he gets out and says in Spanish, "Are you Marika?"
Pardon me? Yes, I'm Marika. I'm Marika.
¿Hablas español?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay, eso va a ser problema.
Okay. Okay. So she starts to kind of try to gesture like.
Sí.
Can I see the place? Oh, okay. Thank you. She kind of waits for him to lead her in.
Vives en Miami y no hablas español. And he you just kind of get like a tone of like he's like kind of like insulting you for not knowing Spanish.
I think she can catch on to that.
Yeah,
She'd be
for
like,
sure.
Ooh,
For sure.
I don't know if there's any. She doesn't speak Spanish. There's no way she would. And she kind of mutters to herself, "Well, I speak 4 other languages." Yeah,
but you don't speak the important one. All right, so he takes you down, like it's like a row of apartments. Just takes you past some doors, and like just jiggles the keys, unlocks one, and lets you in. And he gives you like the tour of this, little, pretty well kept 1-bedroom apartment. It's got a kitchenette and a little living room space, and says, and he's like $1,300.
And
1300.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Too much. No.
Pero es bueno.
It's fine. It's too small.
12.50. 1250.
$50 off a month. I'm not sure if that's really making up for the single bedroom here.
All things considered, for Miami prices, that's not terrible.
That's
pretty
like
good, okay.
really cheap. Yeah.
That's a very expensive apartment.
Around here.
So she kind of looks around and says, "Show me outside." She kind of just points out the window. Outside. Show me. Maybe she might like pull it up on her phone and translate it.
Okay, let's roll willpower.
This is good.
Willpower plus, what would this be? Mastermind or grifter? Probably grifter.
Feels like grifter, yeah.
Yeah, so willpower plus grifter.
So. Willpower plus grifter. Okay, so that's a D8 and a D6. Let's see. Is
Do you
there
want to
anything
use
else
any
I
of
can...
those distinctions or specialties?
Unconventional, driven, adds insult to injury. I think I could add an insult here.
That's true. I mean, you're already saying this place is super expensive.
It's too small.
So you
It's too expensive. She says, "It just smells so bad. I want to see if it's just the area or if it's the house." And she's also being kind of insulting by talking really loud. And like,
so you're like making finger gestures to your nose. Okay.
Very gross. And then she starts speaking in Czech just to throw him off. Just like rattles off a whole thing.
Yeah. Roll this, please. So
okay.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna add the D4.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a D8 for obnoxious and a D4 for olds.
For old.
For no, what's I gonna put? Like set in his ways. Language barrier.
Right.
Language barrier. D4 for language barrier. Let's do that.
Okay. All right, I rolled a 10. And there's a 1 in there.
Oh man, that was my highlight of the night. A D4 for old.
Okay, so it works. That works. No, so D4 for language barrier. But yes, okay, but there is a complication. So that means you actually get 2 plot points. One for taking the D4 and then one for getting a 1. So let's call this complication.
You want cocaine now? Oh my god, Nick.
Insulted D6. Okay, so he says, el olor, no, el que es olorosa es tú. So basically he's just like pointing at you, saying the smell comes from you. And he just like is huffing. He like huffs and just like, go, out. Just starts shooting you out of the apartment. Like there's no business here. No deal. Get out.
Okay, so she goes out and yeah, she's gonna go out to the sidewalk, and I imagine Clementine's kind of like around the corner waiting for her to make a move. Yeah. Flash him. Nick, oh my god. So I think that she's going to
You just basically see, like, as you exit the apartment, right? And he just like slams the door and just like jingles the keys, locked, and just like goes off in a huff, says, Dale, vete, No te quiero ver más.
Yeah, she shouts something back in Czech, and
like all of the other like people, like all of the tenants are like looking out their windows and like closing. It's like just eye rolls.
Okay, so this is what
When I see Marika walk out, I have an idea. When I see Marika walk out,
Okay.
I text her and say, "Is there a problem?"
Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah, I feel like from Clementine's point of view, you're just watching like Marika and this old man yelling at each other in foreign language.
Yeah. So Clementine makes a snap decision and decides she's gonna go and jog, and she comes running right at Marika, and smacks right into, like, she's looking up in the air, like running, like she's listening to her headphones, and she smacks right into Marika, and as she does it, she quickly gets out, just follow my lead. Falls onto the ground and like a pratfall, you know, and kind of holds herself, and she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? Standing here? You gotta watch where I'm going. I need some help. And hold on, I need. Pulled out her cell phone and she's like going to call something, and then she drops it really hard and breaks it.
Oh gee.
And she says, "Oh, I need to call somebody. Please. I need somebody's phone."
And you just see.
I look at Marika with like angry eyes, not angry eyes, but like serious eyes. Like, I need somebody's phone.
So Marika kind of like tries to like hide her phone and tries to look very flustered and like calls into the house. Help! She needs help.
Okay, so let's have Clementine roll the grifter roll here. We'll call it vitality plus grifter.
Nice. All right.
That's excellent.
Right?
I really loved the sultry yelp. Like, it was like a very
Help!
oh no!
Oh my gosh, I need a man.
Yeah.
I've fallen.
It hurts so badly. My womanly skin.
It's so tender.
Fragile.
I got
All
an
right.
8. That's it?
Ooh, that's not
That's
great.
it. And he is rolling D6 for insulted because he doesn't want to be anywhere near Marika. 7.
Yeah, Clementine.
Nice.
Still got it.
And an opportunity. Well, no opportunity.
Yeah. All right. So he just like kind of drops out of his anger and rage, and seeing a young woman in need of assistance, just pulls out his cell phone, and I guess he's dialing an ambulance, or like who?
No,
what's he
she
dialing?
says,
Does he come?
"Your phone. Oh, I need to call a friend of mine to come and get me. Look, I don't need an ambulance. I'm not hurt that bad, but I cannot walk on this ankle no more."
And he's just like holding his little like flip phone. Is like, necesita teléfono.
Can I use your teléfono?
Yeah, yes, see.
Thank you very much. So I take his phone and I say, oh, okay, and I'm gonna turn my back to dial, and then I'm going to do the switcheroo.
And Marika kind of throws up her hands and says, "Oh well," in Czech she says, "Oh, he can be nice to the pretty one."
Yeah. Well, I mean, he doesn't even like pay attention to Marika anymore. He's just like so insulted with her, right? And like just yanks the phone, pulls the phone, gets it back from Clementine, and basically like leaves Marika to look after Clementine so that he can get back home.
All right, I'm gonna say, hey, you need to get with Sloan. Tell her we got this phone. We need to do it now. I obviously can't message her anymore, and I pick up my phone.
So hang on though. You have his phone and you gave him a burner, yeah?
Yep.
So is it really urgent?
Yeah, we need to do it now because
he's on his way back to the house.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Not only that, but we're gonna need to switch the phone back.
Yeah.
And I have a plan for that. That is going to involve a lot of flirting and seduction.
Yes!
So cut to Sloan and Dean inside of the guy's house. So what is it that you are searching for here? Or planning on doing?
So I think that I'm laying down like bugs and, like tech to see, because we have to see what this lady looks like. So I'd like to be able to identify her.
That would be awesome. If you would spend a plot point, we can give you a Bugs D6 asset.
Sweet. I would like that very much. And yes, I will spend a plot point to do so.
Cool. Then yes, let's do, I feel like to make sure that the bugs are in the right place, you would want intelligence plus... Or actually, maybe because you know that you're in a you need to like wrap things up quickly and you have very limited time to do surveillance and set it up. I was maybe it'll be agility plus hacker. I like that better.
Okay.
And you can add the D6 for your bugs asset.
Okay. So I'm going with, there it is. $13.
13 and a complication.
Don't forget your plot point.
So, I used the plot point to get the bugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that put me back down to 2, but then I got a complication, which means I'm up to 3
get a new plot
points
point.
again.
That's
Yes?
true. Yep.
And I'd like to... I'd like to spend that plot point to help Clementine and Marika clone the phone without having to physically be there. That's okay.
So you give us instructions?
Well, you remember that thing I gave you?
That's right. You do have that talent. So how does that work again for those who don't know?
Yes. So that is... Do you have that thing I gave you? Give another member of the team an extra D8 on any roll by reminding them of the sweet piece of gadgetry you gave them. You must describe how the gadget will help in the current situation. And then if I use it for somebody during a flashback, then it goes to a D10. But for the situation, I believe it's a D8.
It's the phone cloner 3000.
Yeah, it's Sloan's phone clone 3000 C. And
it probably it could realistically like duplicate SIM cards or something like that.
Yeah. So like on the I'm imagining like a little thing that looks it's about the size of a tape, if we remember what little mini tapes look like from back in them old days, my day, when we used tapes. And it has a button for cloning and a button for stop cloning, so that you're not cloning everybody's phone on the block. It's a super powerful gadget. So I tell you to be very, very careful, because we only have 2 of them.
All right, so then that means that we're going to go over to either Clementine or Marika, whoever wants to use the gadget to clone the phone. Before we do, while you're looking that over, I'm going to say that complication that you rolled there, Sloan, is going to be rushed bug placement, D6.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right, so Marika or Clementine, who wants to clone the phone?
Well, Marika is definitely much better with dealing with computery things than Clementine is. So
I'm gonna bet on that. Is it hacker and something else?
Yeah, this is definitely going to be intelligence plus hacker, and you get an additional D8 for using that thing that Sloan gave you.
Well, I do have D10 intelligence, so let's do it. So, yeah, she hurriedly attempts to make a clone by hitting the clone button. 11. Waiting for 15 seconds and then pushing the stop clone.
It took a intelligence to figure that out.
I only rolled a 6.
I'm going to call this a D6 for unprotected D4 flip phone.
D4.
Yeah, there you go.
Damn, I wish I I didn't know how opportunities work.
I did try to tell you that you should have at least one talent. I did say, but nobody listened to me. But that's okay. You easily clone the phone.
For those watching, Oz rolled snake eyes on the phone's defense.
Yeah, this was super easy for you to clone. And so you have all of the information like that. And you're able to just basically take the phone. And if you need to run it back, you can at this point.
Phones today are much more protected. This was practically a feature of flip phones back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A feature can be easily cloned by people who want to hack into your private conversations. So what's Clementine's plan to get this switched back?
I'm just gonna tell him that I gave him the wrong phone. I wink.
I don't know if that makes sense, but okay. Meanwhile, back at the house, Dean, what is Dean up to?
I mean, if this is, I'm trying to verify whether or not this is a woman of personal pursuit or if there might be some extortion. So running on the lead of him being skeezy or a little pervy, I want to see if he's got a desk that he works from and if it might be locked or anything like that. I'm going to try to find some pictures.
Sure. You are skimming through his desk.
Yeah.
Pictures. The desk is like an old, think like those box monitor kind of computers, like from the 90s. Just barely doesn't, this
like
just,
massive.
or early 2000s. Yeah, like the old Dell ones, right?
Sure.
And yeah, like you're able to, you see that there's a couple of locked drawers that you're gonna have to pick the keys from. But it's just like this mess of papers, really. It just kind of generally seems a little bit unorganized. So if you kind of skim through the top, you would see, you could actually, you know what? I'll just give you this one for free. You would find bank accounts that, statements of his bank account that just show all of the different withdrawals that he's been making over the past few months. And yeah, he's been draining the accounts. There's only like 10 grand left, and it used to be 100 grand. She's made off with like $90,000.
Wow. All right. Well,
Yike.
that's useful. What is the time span? Was it over the course of like a month, 3 months, 6 months?
Over the course of it's been over the course of 4 months now.
4 months. Okay. Nothing else seems fishy on these documents, or at least immediately out of place.
No.
And then I'm gonna try to get into the desk. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna thief it up.
Cool. Give me that. Well, yeah, we're definitely doing thief and agility.
Perfect. Could I use a specialty on this assembly?
Of course, you can. That's an
Hey.
extra D6.
All right. I'll do it.
I'm gonna say, let's see, regular locked desk. D6 plus D6, like shouldn't be super. Oh, then you beat him automatically with this 13. So then, yeah, so you break in and you just find lots of old files that have been carefully placed, and they date back to early 1990 even. They've had this business for a long time, and you just see all of these handwritten, both handwritten notes and receipts and stuff. This is very clearly a family business that only just recently started becoming a little more sophisticated now that he's taken over. that Marcos has taken over. So he's like, you know, you start seeing that things are starting to become like the breakdowns are more typed and cleaner. But I don't know if you necessarily see anything out of the ordinary, but what Marcos did say about the, you know, them being stingy definitely jives with what you're seeing. Like like there was never huge chunks taken out except like on rare occasions, probably, you know, when they needed to buy a new car or something, or like make a big repair to the place. So there wasn't anything super out of the ordinary. So all of this is like very, very it's unusual money spending for sure.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say that at this point you start as Sloan has finished placing the bugs and Dean is searching through the papers. Yeah, you one of you probably like sees a cop car like just park in front of the house. No sirens or anything, but basically like you see cops starting to get down and peer around, just kind of start surveying the area.
It's time to get out. Time to hard get out.
And at this point too is when Florentino's car is parking, and so Florentino gets down. He's like, "What?" You know, he's like talking to the cops, and it's like, "What's going on?" And so like they're starting to like compare notes.
Perfect timing.
Right? So what's the plan?
We're gonna get out the back. I'm gonna skedaddle.
Okay.
I'll even lay the roll. I've got a talent for this.
Okay. Yeah, so let's have you both roll for that.
Sure.
What would we roll here? Definitely alertness to stay out of their sight, and thief to make the getaway.
Would that also be suave/smooth?
Could be, if you want to flavor it that way. Do you want to take it as a D4 with a plot point, or just a D8?
I think I'll take it as a D8 for this one.
This one, yeah. Probably not a good time to roll a complication. Yeah.
So, you know what? I think I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna push my luck.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll go with the D4 here.
Nice.
Okay, so let me roll first to see.
Okay.
Oh, okay, fine. Ooh, okay, and a complication. Cool. All right. What would I have rolled? I would have rolled D6 cop plus probably like D8 alerted, right? Because there's been a report. So.
Way to go, Sloan. Holy.
Nice, Sloan. 12. Okay, so.
Slick.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and actually, wait. You know what? I should re-roll that because I want to add the nosy neighbor D6 because they could potentially be taking a look-sees.
Can you call it the Chusma D6?
Chusma D6, yes.
The Hialeah
Nobody knows what
Chusma?
that means, but yeah. Yes. Basically, that's the Spanish word for gossip.
They've got
Okay.
a phone tree.
So it's actually a 14. Okay, so Sabrina, you were able to make it. You're able to make it out. This complication is going to be for Dean. I guess we'll just call it. You know, you've been spotted. Like there's a. Yeah.
He also failed roll.
And he failed the roll. Yeah. So this is going to be the cops, basically, or like one of them. The cops are. Well, this was the cops that were keeping a lookout, right? They just kind of see you clamp the gate shut. Sloane's already like just whistled her way away without being noticed, but everybody has seen Dean and they're like, "You stop!" And they like, you just see them like turn the corner and foot chase you down the sidewalk.
Perfect. Then oh man.
So yeah, Dean, scene,
boy.
D6.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can blend in here. I imagine that I was probably wearing clothes beneath this, so clothes cannot contain me.
Disassemble the
this FPL onesie is coming off, and I'm gonna blend in. Plus, I happen to have a signature asset. I have a forgettable face.
That's right.
Okay, so first, let's say that you're leading down like a long foot chase to get to a more because right now you're kind of like in a suburban area, right? So you're like leading him down this long foot chase to just to like get to like a shopping center or a gas station or something.
Yeah.
Here, let's put some action music. All right. No, stop! So like we get like this, fun foot chase scene of.
This is definitely beach action.
Yeah, but it's also very leverage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very Miami.
Yeah. So all right. So Dean, let's kind of like wrap this. Let's put this as definitely strength or vitality. This is vitality.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because this is you're trying to like outrun them. Plus, to make a getaway, I'd say making a getaway might be thief.
I think it is.
Yeah. So vitality plus thief.
Yep.
And whatever you want to add to that roll. Any
Distinctions
distinctions or
add
specialties
what exactly?
or talents. Huh?
Do distinctions add what exactly?
A D8 or a D4 and a plot point.
Okay. And can I use my signature asset as well?
Yes, you can. What's your signature asset's the forgettable face?
Forgettable face. Blend
Yes.
with the crowd. I will distinction. Clothes cannot contain me as I burst out of my outfit and blend in with the crowd.
The irony is how that really is not terribly forgettable. What's that shirtless man doing over there? Maybe in Miami. That's
Well, he had an
normal? I don't
outfit
know.
underneath.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
I missed that part.
It could have been better. That's all I'm gonna say. It could have been better.
Yeah.
not great.
So
It's not
same
right.
thing is going to be the D8 plus D6 plus D6 for Dean Scene.
I mean,
So-
Dean did get a plot point.
Now,
I did. I've got a lot
yeah,
of those
do
now.
you want to spend that plot point to include another die so that way you can get a 12 as your total? It's not great,
Yeah.
but it's...
Yeah, no, I think I will. I think I'll take the
Slightly
12.
Okay, so you're at 12. All right, let's see what the cops roll.
Take it.
11! Good thing you did.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
So yeah, so Dean, describe like what you stripped
butt is
out
puckering.
into, like what's your new outfit and where you're at and how you're passing off as the cops kind of like do the classic look around and run by.
Sure. So, Dean's, you said this is just like running down like side streets or alleys or what have you.
Yeah, until you get to like a main street with like a gas station or a shopping center or something like that.
Yeah, okay, so Dean's bolting down the alley, going as fast as he can, and he's unzipping all the way through, and as he's rounding the corner, he just kind of tears it off of him and hucks it into a plant and sits down immediately at the cafe picking up an old newspaper, begins reading.
Very nice. So back at the house, the cops are so he's just watched the cops like chase after people that have been in his house, right? And so Florentino is looking around the house. He's making phone calls. He's freaking out. What are Marika and Clementine and or Sloane doing?
So my
Sloan, are
question
you
is,
out of there? All right.
Yeah.
What's
I smooth departure.
Once everything's cloned, what exactly do we have access to? Can we like hear his phone calls if he's using his cell phone?
Yes, and you would probably also have some history potentially,
Yeah.
right? Like maybe voicemails and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess actually now that we think about it, you don't. Oh no, because you want to give him his phone back so that he doesn't suspect anything, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And did we do that already?
no. So we'll say like that's kind of like the last thing that you need to do to like put a bow on this one.
Okay. Well, I assume the rest of the team has kind of told me what's up. Yeah, I guess that's just the last thing we have to do. Is get that phone back to him.
Yep. So it's up to Marika or Clementine.
I'm gonna bring it back, but I'm gonna need Sloan to drive me there.
Got it.
We need to stop by a Walgreens or something on the way to get a crutch.
Wait,
Okay.
That's. I feel like there's gonna be some mild suspicions there. You guys just show up at his house, like, "Oops, sorry, your phone."
Yeah, how would you know where he lives?
How did you know? We got the guy's name because he's the landlord of this place, and we just looked it up in the phone book. He's an old person. He's definitely listed in the phone book.
Fair
Probably
enough.
fair. Yeah.
I don't think we use phone books anymore. Yeah,
They
we
don't get
use phone
delivered
books
anymore.
Yeah.
In Miami, they
Yeah,
still have
no.
them in Indiana.
Nope. Yeah, no, we don't do phone books.
Either, yeah.
Too much phone.
Well then.
Too much phone.
Yeah, we have too many
Well,
phone
then I
numbers in
call
Miami.
him. I just call him, okay?
Oh yeah.
Oh, but he doesn't
call
have a
him
cell
on
phone
what?
We've created a complication.
This is a problem. Yeah, this is a problem. I don't know.
I
don't know
call
what
up.
to say.
Is there
Oh,
somebody
actually,
else
that's true. He's on his phone. He was gonna call. He's gonna
Yeah.
call people. He's already seen that his phone isn't working. His phone isn't his phone.
Oh, there's also whitepages.com.
Yeah, right. So, like, am I able to? I'm gonna just do a quick search on the interwebs to find out if his address is listed on the internet, and that's my way that I find out. If
Sure.
it is.
Yeah.
I think so. We know his address, but I think what Dean was saying was that he's going to be suspicious that we know his
Right.
address.
So I want to have a story as to how I got it, and if he's listed on the internet, then that's an easy story.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Right.
had whatever. You know.
Okay,
Okay. Well.
so we're picking up a crutch
Right.
on the
Okay.
way.
Do you want to spend a plot point for a D6 crutch?
I'd rather spend like $15 if that's okay.
I mean, that's still you still need a plot point to say that you
Okay.
stopped by for a crutch.
It's funny.
Sure. Yeah. I'll spend a plot point.
All right, so you got a D6 crutch. So yeah, so you are deposited near the house, right? So that you could just kind of like crutch walk
Yeah,
up to the house, and you see that he.
Is that anything like the Crip Walk? Crutch Walk. Anyway, I'm up to the house.
So he's like raging in front of his house because he has the wrong phone, and he sees you on a crutch and says, "Dude."
I say, your telephono, and they got switched.
Okay, and he like approaches and he's like, "El tuyo no se rompió."
No Espanol.
All right.
Why did they come to us? We are not qualified for this job.
Is there someone you know that speaks English? I just want to explain what happened. Look.
Let's do a grifter roll to see like if you can somehow communicate what happened to him with a language barrier. So we're gonna do D8 for intelligence plus grifter.
All right, good. Those are good rolls for me. Can I use cold reading or flirtatious to help me?
I think so, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Flirtatious, do you want to use as a D8 or a D4 for a plot point? A D4 for a plot point.
Oh, jeez. It's tempting because I just used my only plot point to get those Shoot.
could be entertaining.
I'm going D4. I want that plot point.
Okay.
All right, let's
Going D4 flirtatious. So it's almost like Clementine isn't deliberately flirting for the con. It's just she can't help herself.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So he'll be
She knows
rolling.
she can, so she does.
He'll be rolling obnoxious D8 and language barrier D4.
Yeah, and I'm not going to do anything with cold reading. I feel like it would be really hard to cold read this fellow when I can't even understand.
I mean, I could. Well, cold reading is to just kind of gauge what his expression is telling you, right? So you might be able to.
It's more like, yeah, I'm trying to get information that I can use against him, though. Is what cold reading really is
Right.
about. So.
Okay. So he is rolling. He has an 11.
And I'm rolling D8 plus D10 for my intelligence plus grifter, and then a +4, right, for the flirtatious.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Oh my god, I did terribly, and I didn't even get a 1. I rolled a 5.
Okay, but you have an option of pushing your luck, or there's something we can do. We can do something, right? I'm mixing this up with another system, but
Yeah,
I feel
I
like there's a chance. There's a thing you can do that will like.
I don't think so.
Darn it.
You can. The only thing you could do is spend plot points to include more dice, but that wouldn't even help you in this case because you only get a 7.
I need 7 more. Oh boy.
Huh. Let me see. Let me just take a look here
Could have
at.
sworn there was something.
I thought there was like a push your luck type thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we could do a raise. Well, face
Raise
actions.
the stakes. That's what
There
it's
we go.
called.
Face action is typically just a one by one, but if we wanted to continue the conversation, I mean, technically he already beat you though, and by a lot. This is actually, isn't this one of those things? It's like a,
It's by 5 or more.
yeah, by 5 or more, it's like a knockout or something, or it's just
It's a crit, essentially. It's a critical.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, he is gonna, what's he gonna do? I think he's going to snatch the phone from your hand and from across the fence, right? And say, "Voy a llamar la policía," and just turns around
boy.
and walks. So he's gonna
I know
call
what
the
that
cops.
one means.
Yeah. So, all right, but that's okay. You gave him his phone, and I think he's gonna. I guess he would toss the phone back to you. I guess like you get the swap. Like the idea is that he'll give you the phone back. You swap the phone back, but he is going to recognize you from now on, and he's going to like basically just, and he's going to call the
Right.
cops and report.
Right.
what's
Okay.
been
So
happening.
yeah. So I'm kind of locked out at any face interactions with this fella from here on out.
As am I.
All
I
right.
think we almost all of us are.
yeah. It's just Sloan left.
All right. Well, with that, I say we take a quick 5-minute break and return to see where we go from here. Now you have all
I
that
think that's a
information
great
on
idea.
that phone.
Hey, everybody who's watching, you should tell your friends that we're having a grand old time here. We still haven't even wrestled an alligator.
It's coming. You know it's coming.
Also, while we were playing, I did officially add on a title to our stream of a D4 for old. That's the title.
Common search. It's a common.
Yeah. Right. I'm just trying to get that SEO.
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
So let's, stay tuned. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
All right.
Bye.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Leverage here on the Shadowcasters Network, and we are continuing our old horny man job. Okay, so
there we go.
Yeah, so what has transpired so far is you have acquired a clone of Florentino's flip phone. That's not without doing a pretty sloppy job of doing it. Cops have been called, foot chases happened, a pretty rushed bug job on his house was done, all to locate this mystery woman who has drained over $90,000 of his account. Well, that he's chosen to give to willingly, of course. I want to skip ahead quickly, right? So, you're back at a headquarters, you're back at the Orange Grove, and we'll say, Sloan, go ahead and give me a hacking test to just kind of like review all of the phone and see what information you're able to dig up, and then use that information. Like, we're going to basically call it one whole roll, right? So you're going to use that information to locate, whatever you can on this person.
Okay, so that's hacker plus
Intelligence.
Mm-hmm. It's trying to. Oh, and I'm using Titania.
Mm-hmm.
Titania.
Yes, your trusty computer.
Yes. So that's D10, D10, and D8.
I'm just going to do regular D6s because you got a good clone of the stuff, and here you go. So you have to beat a 4. You'll be fine. 16, yeah. You crush it. So let's see, things that you find out. You're able to, so there's no text messages because he's illiterate, but you do find lots of phone calls and voicemails. So the voicemails are all left by, so there's a phone number, right, that you're able to trace to a Jessica Cabrera.
Oh. Jessica with a Y?
Yes, Jessica with a Y. Now, the only reason that you're able to actually, there's more of a roundabout story. The phone, the actual account is owned, the name is Hernan Blanco.
Ooh.
Okay. So it's owned, so it's owned by Hernan Blanco. But using. Can
I say that I really appreciate that you pronounce all of these Spanish names first?
Yes. Yeah. Hernan
like
Blanco would be the.
And you said. I think earlier
Jessica.
you said you were like Jamie, and then.
Yeah. And then Jaime is how it would actually be. Yeah.
Right.
But you're able to. With both tracing the phone number and locations and stuff, you're able to also get information on basically who owns the phone. You're able to trace the phone. You're able to find like where her phone is, GPS tracker. Like, you just went all out, right? And you located exactly who she was. We'll say that you even tailed her. You have the whole bio. So basically,
A dossier.
you have a dossier. So here's what you know about these two individuals. So Jessica has basically been, from the voicemails that you're getting, has been giving him lots of different excuses, like, oh, I need to pay my phone bill, my car broke down, my daughter, I have to pay the hospital bill for her, she's sick, etc. She's been saying she is a hardworking nurse and single mother of a sick little girl, and that she arrived from Cuba just recently with little to her name. Actually, she's been here for 10 years and she doesn't have a daughter at all.
Oh, shocked.
Shock. You actually, in a stakeout recently, you saw her driving a very expensive looking sports car, swapping it in a parking garage for something really crappy, and then visiting his house. And then you followed her as she went to various other homes around the city.
Wait.
Of other old men.
Oh man.
Goes back, swaps it back to her new sports car, and goes to Miami Beach to a luxury penthouse, to a luxury building that has like its own like carport elevators that like lift the car up into. And that building happens to be where Hernan Blanco lives. Hernan is also known as Rico. He was busted for running a prostitution ring. He got out of jail 5 years ago. He did 2 years of time, got out 5 years ago. That was for running a prostitution ring. And he is currently living in the penthouse of this luxury building.
Interesting.
We have her bank account info, right?
No, you wouldn't have found that on his phone, because remember, everything has been withdrawn by cash. And then
No, but I have her name, right?
Oh, I see. So you can find her bank account.
In the Caymans.
Probably. We'll say, like, I know that you want to hack the bank account and just pull the money, but let's say no to that one.
Okay.
Darn it. Good try. Okay, so can you clarify, Hernan Blanco? How did we discover this connection? Is that
he's the owner of the cell phone that Jessica has been using to contact Florentino.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was a little sloppy for sure, right? But also, interesting that her phone is paid by Hernan, or owned by Hernan, and she, after her rounds, goes back to this building that Hernan happens to live in.
Well, my guess is this is a bigger, what do we call this? Sting operation? Yeah. Rico's pulling in money from all these using people to scan the money, and yeah. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
Do we know if there's other women in the building?
Yeah. So fun thing. I was actually about to go into this, but I'm glad you asked. So doing more research on Hernan, there's been definitely a lot of complaints from downstairs neighbors of like loud music and lots of people that seem to just go in and out at all hours of the night or in the day. So yeah, it looks like he's just he's usually surrounded by a lot of people, seems like. If you were to do more of a stakeout of that building, you would. That's the thing, though. I don't know if you would notice any further operations specifically that belong to him, but yeah, he's surrounded a lot by people. The other thing I was going to say, what was it? If I remember, I'll let you know.
Okay. Well, we need to figure out how this is all going down exactly. Should we infiltrate one of these parties or gatherings? Perhaps pose as a potential future worker?
Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. Hold that thought. So here's the deal. The reason that Hernan is able to get away with this well, I mean, I don't know if it's obvious, but just to like put the bow on it, right, is because it's not technically prostitution if the men are freely giving away their funds for maybe or maybe not sex. So they might not be. And if it's for like, I need help with my car, then it's not it's not transactional per se, right? So It's basically just like manipulating them to giving up the funds.
But can I make it look like he's trafficking these women?
How would you do that?
Just a thought. but we want to take him down, right? So I'm thinking maybe we can look like he's doing something legitimately illegal. So if we go with infiltrating by either, I don't know, if we have like either a potential mark or a potential woman, and somebody gets like bugs in there, I can get him saying things and then create an incriminatory statement. These are all hackery things. Computers and skill, etc. We do that, is what I was thinking. And like just make him seem like he's a dastardly person. I mean, he is.
Bob, what were you gonna say before?
I mean, we were realistically supposed to get him to see the error of his ways and to stop. That's easy enough. We just show him the truth. Get pictures of her driving around her fancy car, living a fancy life.
All right.
That's super easy.
Yeah.
But I think
the question is, do we want to go bigger?
I think she's doing some morally questionable things, but he did just decide to give her this money. I mean, this might be just like a slap on the wrist. Like, sorry, man, you learned your lesson, but she's not who she says she is. That's really what the kids wanted anyway. So do we sort of do our ways of drawing these funds out and give it back to him because we feel bad because he made a mistake? Or how do you want to go about this? I know how Dean feels, and it's just like, people make mistakes, and he made a mistake. It just sucks that there's people out there that's manipulating the old.
Right.
Well, I'd like to get paid as well, and I think Rico's our best bet for that.
Really solid target.
Yeah. I mean, he's skirting around obvious crimes, but he's still breaking the law.
Yeah.
So like fraud is a crime. So it's not like there's nothing to go on. It's just how do you do that? How do you expose?
Well, he was
fraud?
a felon, right? He went to jail for running a prostitution ring. So we get evidence that he's still breaking the law, and it'll just put him back in jail.
Right.
Yeah, very true.
Bring, bring. You get a phone call, and it's from Marcos, the grandson.
Who's getting this call?
You, Marika, you're our mastermind.
Okay. Hello?
Hello?
What's wrong, Marcos?
Jamie, he's in the hospital.
Okay. Okay. What? Why?
Some guys jumped him.
Oh my god. Is he okay?
I mean, he's in critical condition.
Did you get a good look at them? Were you there?
No. All I was able to get was just it was a warning. They wanted us to back. It's like they know. Somebody knows. They're trying to get us to back off.
Our investigation went so perfectly. I can't imagine why anyone would have figured anything out.
That's the thing. I don't think it went that perfectly because Grandpa stole, or basically yanked all of the money from the bank account. He pulled all of the remaining funds and our savings. Pulled all of it. It's all gone. Okay. Marcos, don't worry. We'll handle this. I need you to tell me anything you can about the people who hurt Jamie. Just all that the report said, like the witnesses were just buff guys. I don't know. Okay. All right. Go take care of him. We'll get to the bottom of this. Did I fuck up? Did I fuck up by doing this? Oh, no. They fucked up by hurting your husband. Don't worry. Phone hangs up.
So on to Rico then. I think he's on to us, so who's the only one of us that hasn't been compromised? Sloan! How do you like posing as a
This is where leverage diverges from Shadowrun, by the way. The Shadowrun solution to this problem is way different.
It really is.
Well, pick more.
Take care of it, don't worry.
I really, really liked that 70s cop vibe, though, that you had going. I thought that was perfect. So yeah, I'll do whatever is necessary to get this scumbag.
What I'm thinking is we try to weasel our way in. We try to do essentially a short con where she seems like, an incredibly good con woman and can pull off a really good grift. And try to get him either to admit something or find out something incriminating, find some evidence so we can bring him in. That's kind of what I'm thinking. What do you guys think?
Like to lay out like to tell me what it is that I'll be doing, basically like giving me instructions. You want him on tape doing that?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
I have a crazy idea, which feel free to shoot it down if it's a terrible idea, because it is crazy and it could fail miserably.
Okay.
I like
the idea is that we go in and we're completely open and honest with the fact that we were trying to con this old man to get to him. But the reason is because we feel like we were trying to show our, like, we feel like he could up his con game into a more, like technological level, and that's what we were trying to show him.
So this was our audition.
We come in with the phone. We're like, look, this is what we did. You might have seen it happen, but we've been watching and listening to all these phone calls the whole time. And I'm telling you, if you could get us in on this scheme, we could be using these skills for you and not against you. And it's very risky, though.
It is very risky.
That's the problem. But if it worked, that would be us having a conversation with him about his operation.
And it could be like, we look how easily we uncovered your scam. We can make this harder to trace.
Right. It's like how white hackers go in and try to point out flaws in the security and everything so that they can get a job, which, to be fair, doesn't ever actually work. But those people just usually go to jail.
But yes, that's totally. I like that. What about you?
I dig it.
Again, the downside is if it doesn't work, there's no plan B.
If it fails, it fails spectacularly.
Yes.
I think there might be another method here, right?
Please
I
talk
like
us
that.
out of this.
I like the method a lot.
Yeah.
I think it works really well. But if they're operating on this large of a scale, there's no way that the quote unquote big brother has not had some sort of fingers in the pie or watching the situation. They probably are at least aware. Is there any way that we can figure out police reports on this individual or folks who have worked this man's case before?
Sloan
can do it.
Because if we happen to find someone that's worked the case and is really eager to put this guy down, we could just simply work with the police. There are legal means. Just say that it's we're interested in protecting a certain party.
So I'll still keep this as part of Sloane's badass hacking role here, because this is still information on Hernan. So Hernan is actually you would find police reports that show that Hernan is actually working with the police.
Ooh.
He's an informant.
Oh yeah.
You a bad guy.
He uses his I don't want to call it a stable, but whatever. He uses his ring.
Employees.
His ring to collect information as necessary. So like they're not all obviously doing that. Like it's not like fingers in a lot of different pies, but like he has a few that are assigned to like investigate and bust somebody. So yeah, he's a snitch.
Oh, interesting.
That complicates things, though.
It does.
It complicates all of our plans.
What about what are the chances of any of these police officers being slightly dirty and using his services so that they can turn a blind eye?
100%. They are 100%.
The thing is, remember, the whole operation runs on. It's not like they don't necessarily even have to. There doesn't necessarily have to be prostitution.
Sure.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, as long as they can get in there and manipulate, their goal is to get money. It's not to, it's not strictly prostitution the way that, you know, it's the simple way, right? This is a grift, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's con. What if we found somebody who he has snitched on, wronged, somebody maybe a little too powerful, and get them their assistance.
Ooh.
Take this guy down.
It's like we're slowly itching up the ladder of danger.
We really are. We really are.
That's like that Shadowrun feel kind of coming back.
Remember that time that you started the session? You're like, this is lame. Nothing's happening.
Well, there's got to be other people looking in on him. I'm for it.
I'm down.
All right.
I'm down for danger.
All right, so let's, like, in a sentence or two, how would you say the plan, like, where would you, if you had to do a jump cut, right, to where the plan is going to start, what would that be, Mariko?
Oh boy.
And team can assist, but I feel like since Marika's our mastermind, she has, like, the final kind of say.
Right.
Man, there's a lot of levels to this to wrap up in.
That's the thing,
like,
yeah.
This amount of time, it feels like it almost is a full second score. Because there's a lot more information that we could garner still. I mean, I feel like if we go down the route of trying to find out who he might have flipped on, we can look at like incarceration to see if there's anybody that checks and balances those names that are also a similar line of work.
Also remember that you need to find a way to get access to all of that money.
Yeah.
Right?
So, okay, this police thing is a complication of the plan, but I think we still could use Bobby's plan. We just have more information than before. So we go in, we say, we know what you're doing. We were able to hack it in a day, and we don't let on that we know he's doing more than just taking money from old people, and we can still kind of lead him down that path, try to see if he'll take one of us on as one of his people, and then we can get the evidence we need against him. Knowing that the police are working with him is helpful because then we know how to kind of navigate that system, because they obviously are probably turning a blind eye to a couple of things.
I still feel like this falls largely to Sloan with her tech capabilities. She's going to be our MVP for moving in and trying to negotiate with these terms. Like, yeah, well, we could really kind of duty up this con if we happen to have someone that has some tech experience.
Yeah, I can help him tighten up his cybersecurity and simultaneously get access to his bank account.
So then Sloan goes in saying, those other 3 idiots were all working for me, or something like that. And yeah.
I mean, I would argue that this isn't necessarily... I feel like generally all 4 of you could even be part of this conversation. I don't think that you all just need to leave Sloan to her own devices.
No, for sure. I think we all need to, because we all need to be like remember me.
Maybe you have one person in the wings or something that like kind of does a another part in the whole thing, like they're not part of the scam, quote unquote, but maybe there's something else, or they're part of the scam but to be introduced later.
Right.
Oh, Scrim's cam is doing a funny thing.
I've been getting some flickering on my end.
You're like should
I reset?
Yeah. Drop out.
Give you right back.
Okay.
And that's the last we heard.
Never heard from again, Your Honor.
All right, you're back. Cool.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, we could just say let's cut straight to the the penthouse.
Okay. And we're all chatting. Yeah.
You've been able to acquire a meeting.
We're discussing things with him. There is one other complication too we haven't considered, is that they know Marcos and Jamie did something. I don't know if they know that they hired us.
I don't think they would know.
Roughed them up. Probably not.
Unless they've been following them the entire time. I don't see how they would immediately know.
That's the one thing that is that's bugging me a little bit, is we don't know why they were targeted specifically.
I mean, they've been asking questions for a while, but are they specifically saying, oh, you asked questions of these 4 people? I don't know. There's so many things to consider.
You could probably guess that the reason they were targeted, because again, since this is like a smarter operation in the sense that like they had these specific targets in mind, right? Given how there were people in the house, some sloppily laid bugs, phone swapping, etc., it could stand to reason that, especially given his panic, that he might have contacted her and then she rotted up the ladder and then it ended up coming down on them as a result.
I see. So they don't know that they hired us necessarily. They just blamed them for everything going wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They know that they hired people, but we don't know if they know what you look like.
Oh, we have like...
If they knew, they probably would have come for you directly, right?
I feel like there's almost, we can easily get inside of the operation, and I feel like it's a simple, and while it's really kind of gross, but just moving around people, right? So like you said earlier, to see if they have any kind of operation where they're moving women around, we have a Latino girl, a Czech girl, and a Southern girl. Like, this is easy. That's variations. This is probably like, it's almost up his alley. We just walk in and say that there's some, like, you've got your pros, but I've got 3 super pros, and they'll easily draw in more money.
That's right. All right. So are we jumping to the penthouse? Sorry,
yeah. So what is the conceit of this meeting? Like, how were you able to score this meeting?
Well, I mean, he's known, right, inside of the seedier underworld. He's this Rico in Miami that, I mean, he's got money, he's got clout, so he's probably not that hard to find, honestly, if you're looking in that line of work. And if we're dealing like with some slight trafficking issues, then we've got three ladies that were just brought in that need work immediately.
I would propose then, because this guy is used to dealing in this fashion, that Dean is taking the lead on this, and kind of posing as though he's got yeah, he employs our services and would be happy to offer them to Rico as well. That's kind of what I'm imagining.
Yeah. So Dean has an alter ego character here.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not prostitution, but yeah. I think Rico's probably used to men being in charge. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So Dean, what kind of name do you want to give yourself here?
Oh man.
Like your alias.
Good
I'm
Lord.
also just really excited for what Bob could love.
I want to know what chat would name.
Yes.
Wild
Tony
chat.
Montana, Fred Garvin.
Fred Garvin.
They already were offering suggestions before you said that.
Michael, North Dakota.
Michael.
Dirk Diggler. Oh,
Fred
Oh, such a good one.
I like Fred. Do you guys know the Fred Garvin sketch on SNL? No.
I do not.
No.
I don't think so. No, I haven't seen it.
Nope.
It's like what's his name? Armiston. What's his name? He's a male.
Fred
prostitute.
Armisen. He's
Yeah,
funny.
Fred Armiston.
Yeah.
Fred Garvin.
No, it's not Fred Armiston, but it's anyway, it's just a male prostitute sketch.
All right, so while
continue.
chat is coming up with names for Dean to pick from, let's just hop right into it, and then Dean can surprise us with his choice. So you arrive at this penthouse.
Ooh.
Okay.
There is like this thumping music, right? And so the doors, this double doors open. These like muscly guys that are keeping. That are kind of like just basically bodyguarding and keeping watch of the apartment and of Rico, are standing around. Rico steps out of like a hot tub that's like in the center of this suite.
Oh
right?
my gosh, this is basically Senior Azucar again.
He's surrounded by like a whole plethora of people in bathing suits. They just like popped a champagne bottle. The music is blaring. And he steps out, snaps for a robe, just gets and like slaps it on.
Ready.
And says, "So, who the fuck are you?"
Okay, so Dean probably a bit more prim and proper, thinking like wearing a suit. He's got the top three buttons undone, just kind of like showing some chest, hair all slicked back, as clean as he possibly can here. And he extends out a hand willingly. Cass. Everybody calls me Cass. You want to go for long form? They know me as Casanova.
Nice.
All right, Casanova, and he like shakes your hand, says, "You like my penthouse?" And he like kind of just gives you like a sweep, and you look to the side, and there's like this big glass wall with like a row of sports cars, like just parked in a garage, and with an elevator for those cars that like go down the building up and down, so like he can like just have them all parked there neatly, and just overlooks the beach. So you got the spectacular beach city view. And yeah, long balcony, and just like this is luxurious.
Yeah,
Luxurious
it's real nice
party
what you
boy.
got here. I like it. We don't see too many things like this. Upstate New York. I got wind that you're a man in charge. You get some things done, and you can help people find work. Is that so, Rico?
Yeah, maybe. Come. And see, like he like snaps. Has you go to the balcony with him, right? And he's like pulling out his pack of smokes, just pulling one out, offers one.
I'll take.
Yeah. All right, and who's your crew?
These three here, they're looking for work. Their names are whatever's convenient and what you happen to be interested in at the time. See, I worked the circuit. Something similar to kind of what you do here, but I got out because I saw that the money that was in it. I got freed, and I felt like I needed to make a little dime myself. And I couldn't do it in New York anymore. Too many elbows, too close. I like the beach. It looks good on us. You've been doing pretty fine yourself.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. And like, it's at that point, like the doors to the apartment open, and Jessica walks in.
I kind of like size her, eye up and down. And I think we might actually be able to work something here. See, I have some of my own, and I'll snap to the ladies. Come forward, come on.
Marika's like,
Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that.
getting into it.
We have
So-
charms from across the world here. I'll give you a moment. You can take a look. Be careful, they're feisty.
No, I can see. I want to know why I should share my profits with you. A competitor
have-
from out of town who thinks he can run this city.
I never said that I've come to run the city. I've come to offer. I'm tired of being worked above. I'd like to work on the same board. Now, I'm not trying to cut in here. That's not my goal. I'm just trying to carve out my own little corner and extend out further than just the beach if at all possible. You got a nice thing here. I'm not trying to encroach on that. But you can be working a little further. I think you can anyway.
Why you say that?
Well, I mean, everybody's worked the circuit. We know what it's like. We know that there's some laws. We get it. Not everybody can do everything around here. But, see, my girls are special. I know that it's more than just looking at them here, but what did we come up like flashing back? Did we have different names, or do I just call you as like Marika, Sloan, and
You'd probably
Clem?
all have aliases for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, I'm curious. What aliases might you give yourselves?
I call Sunny D.
What? That's so good.
What is it?
Really good.
That's so good. They're
Alright.
talking about that in the chat.
I'd like to thank the chat for the inspiration. That was genius.
That's so good. Sunny D. Okay, well, I need a clever name too. Or Gina.
So yeah, Sunny D, Orangina.
Love it. What's another? Tropicana.
Yeah?
Yeah, Tropicana is really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Minute Maid. No. That was the first one that popped in my head, and we're not.
No,
I don't think that's quite sexy enough.
that was me a little too sexy.
And immediate grab for Clem. I know that Marika can speak 4 languages and that she is an ex-gymnast. I know that Sloan has immediate ways with technology, but is it just looking good for Clem, would you say? Or does she have like some immediate like quick sell?
That's what she does.
Okay.
That's what she does. She is it's looking good because
Okay.
she's a seductress.
Sure, I got you.
She's
That's
an
perfect.
actress, yeah?
That's what I need. Like we have Sunny. Sunny, step forward. She's an absolute whiz with tech. Anything that you got, it doesn't matter. Old, new, she knows it. Up and down. Gina here. Beautiful. So young. I kind of like under the chin and move her head around. Look at, she's perfect. She knows 4 languages and she's perfectly bendy.
Nice.
And then we have Canna. Look at this honeyed Southern belle right here. Where else can you get that from?
Let's start with I kind of want to make this this is definitely a grifter role for you.
Okay. All right. That's terrible for me.
Yeah.
This is real bad.
Well, you
But
should have the asset of
Is there
having a
is
penis.
there a teamwork mechanic in this game? I can't remember.
Not particularly,
Okay,
unless
I
it's like
didn't-
talent based. Like if Marika wanted to use that ability that she has to give her mastermind die over.
That's right, and I certainly do. So you can spend a plot point to give a die to. So no, I can spend my plot point, and that'll get you a D10 to give you a D10 because it'll give you my mastermind die.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, 'cause this is Marika's idea. So so we'll call this.
Fioros also makes an excellent point that winging it clearly applies.
I've got winging it as well as distinction.
And actually, I think I might call this, since you're taking the lead and you're setting the plans for this deal, instead of Grifter, I actually want to call this a mastermind. It's still a D4 for you, but we're going to call it willpower plus mastermind.
Got it.
And
so
you have your Marika's mastermind because she's the actual mastermind. She's got her D10. And you're taking winging it. Do you want to take that as a D8 or a D4?
Oh yeah, I'm 100% gonna 1D8 this.
Please D8.
I'm not gonna fuck around with that at all.
All right, hold on. So he is going to roll. I wrote his stats down. So apparently there's actually a way to stat out your marks. He is going to be rolling his D12 ringleader, D12 greedy. But nothing else.
Perfect. Let's see what he's got. I see a 6 in his picture. A 9.
Okay. That's doable.
Okay.
That's
all right.
doable.
Get out of here.
Okay. So anything else that I have? I still technically have 2 plot points. Would there be any signature asset that I could drum up on the fly to make this so?
I mean,
I don't think so, to be honest.
Not unless. The only thing I could think of would be if you out the weakness of his operation and you like pull out an asset that proves to him why his operation sucks, why it's too easy to track.
I don't want to call that just yet. I'm not gonna lay all my cards on the table.
Yeah, I feel like that's the ace up our sleeve if we need it. Here's the cell phone that we cloned. Here's the
and that might come down to the 3 of you proving your value.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be a D8, D4, D10, D8.
And by the way, we should call that crushed. Bam. We should also call that cloned flip phone a D6 asset.
Nice.
So,
if we use it,
yeah. All right. So crushed. So Rico looks at the whole situation and says, "All right. Let's say I'm interested. What's the full extent of this business partnership?"
I just want to carve out our little corner, a place that we can work, and the girls can be of use to you too. I think that there might be some flaws in your workload. Ladies, if you would help. I'm not just gonna represent you perfectly. This is when you step forward. Come on now.
And this is where the cards are on the table. This is where we're showing them what we got.
I guess this is when we clinch it. Yeah.
Yeah. This is us like pretty much cinching our little corner here, and whatever kind of pull we can get.
I mean,
who would have the phone?
Probably be Sloan is my guess.
Right? Yeah.
I can step forward and like lay it all out on like on the table, like exactly how his operation works. We have timed, like Jessica was going on a timed schedule, right? And we like took pictures of her and all of that stuff.
Being careful to word things so that he has to confirm, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, what was the question? Because I got distracted by changing music.
She's essentially laying out. She's laying
Sloan,
out.
Yeah, Sloan is laying out point by point what we've said.
What
like,
we've uncovered.
Yeah, what we've uncovered. Look, this is what we know about how things work. Jessica's going in, talking to this guy, and she's getting sloppy because we were able to do this, we were able to do that, we were able to get in here.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a phone that we were able to just switcheroo by just, flashing some cleavage and flustering an old man. Like you got to be a little bit more careful, and we can help you with that.
We figured this out in one day.
Yeah.
If your work's that sloppy, I'm sure many people could figure it out very quickly.
In half a day.
So let me get this straight. You were the ones who were snooping around?
At your service.
He like nods to one of the bodyguards who and the bodyguard is going to
Oh no.
Oh damn it.
pull in Jessica.
Oh shit.
And so she joins you on the balcony, and he asks, Jessica, who do any of these people match the description of any of those people your old man was talking about that confronted them? She like scans each of you. I don't think anybody really did like a major mega disguise for this. So
Nope.
I think it was just me, and that's it. At that point, I was still wearing an FBI.
And a mustache.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
But she wasn't made, so.
This is true.
You'd remember us too.
yeah, he would remember. Yeah, so for sure. Yeah, he points at Marika, or she points at Marika and Clementine. Says, yeah, them. They apparently were the ones that switched his phone. Said, huh. And why'd you get involved in this again?
Asking us?
Yeah.
Well, we're looking to find work, and we figured the easiest way, if we're not exactly trying to, get dirty for our money, we're willing to help people out, I suppose. They just lend us some cash. You know how it goes.
Listen, darling, the operation you got going here, it's pretty spectacular. We thought it was a pretty brilliant idea, if I'm being honest. She's putting on the charm, by the way.
Yeah.
And we just thought, how can we take this from a fantastic operation to a spectacular operation?
Rico stares down everybody. You've got a bodyguard, you've got Jessica, and then all of a sudden Rico just goes, oh shit, we beat that guy up for nothing.
I knew that's where it was going.
Shit. Well,
I'm gonna feign looking a little confused.
sucks for him. And like Jessica and the bodyguard laugh as well, and says, all right, because this is still going off of Dean's success on his role here.
Incredible success.
Yeah. He goes, all right, I'll bite. Let's talk specifics. So let's I think maybe unless there's more to this plan, right? Do we just kind of want to like quickly discuss what you rope him into?
That's fine, because there's not more to this plan. That was it. And
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and we just we want to get the like evidence, basically getting him to tell us how it all works.
Yeah, exactly. The whole point was for us to get to this point where we could get him talking.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So does that mean that we're in the mastermind phase?
I guess that does what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it does.
All right, so let's pull that up again because I still don't know. I still forget.
This isn't the
It's
wrap up
convoluted.
flashbacks. Yeah, this gets confusing. The mastermind.
And to date, I
phase.
failed every one of these.
Oh darn!
But
I used
now you might be a little better set up.
I only have 2 plot points, unfortunately,
Fingers crossed.
because I spent the 1 to give you that D10. But it was worth it. It was worth it.
Very valuable as it became a 10.
But we can give you plot points, right?
No.
If you do like a flash different, like if I call for a flashback and you have a flashback like right now, then yes, but I don't know if we can do that right now.
All right, so
I wasn't sure we were allowed to, but I'm
let's see how this goes.
still learning.
So a wrap-up flashback is a series of basic actions that are played around the table by all of the crew members at some critical point. Okay, crew's mastermind's going to initiate it because it uses the mastermind role. So the way that it works, excuse me, I'm burping. I had a lot of soda. All right, each crew member let me show this to you, everybody. It's like near the bottom. Each crew member participating in the wrap-up plays out their own individual establishment flashback, setting up some cool thing he did that's going to help the mastermind out or tilt the odds in the crew's favor. The mastermind player can suggest an idea, but it's best if the other player uses what's already happened on the job to think of the scene on his own. Going around the table, each player is going to describe their flashback. They each spend a plot point in order to take part, and the mastermind can spend the plot point on behalf of the player instead, in which case the mastermind gives her mastermind die to add to that crew member's pool of dice. Yeah.
So they can also use up their own plot points to help beef up their role within the flashback that they create.
Yeah. But in this case, you can give a plot point to like if you really want to cinch something that someone's doing, you can give them, you can spend it on their behalf, in which case they get to add your mastermind die to it. So basically they get a bonus D10. Okay. Complications here don't count, so no ones matter. And crew member rolls first. And let's see where we go. So who would like to go first?
I can go.
Okay.
I have the beginnings of something that will sound good once I'm done.
I'm gonna start talking, and then eventually I'll finish, and it'll be awesome.
Yeah, this is gonna be great. So my flashback is when I got out of the house, and Dean took the cops on a wild goose chase. I hacked their little cop computer in their car, and planted like a tracer / microphone. Let's do that, so that wherever they go or where they are with the computer, they'll hear the conversation with Rico that we ultimately have. So they'll hear the incriminating evidence.
Okay, you're about to give a cop a promotion. All right, let's go. Let's roll definitely intelligence plus hacker on that one.
Sweet.
Do you need any help on that?
I have 2 plot points left. But hold on, because my intelligence plus hacker is 2d10.
I knew me running through the streets was useful for someone.
That's pretty good. 2d10's pretty solid.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And you have a plot point to spend on this, right, to take part?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I also have Suave Smooth, so that's D8. Oops.
It's like a part of the series where we introduce an NPC that becomes super important later as we work with that police officer regularly.
We already had one last time. I can't remember his name.
I also have Titania. That gives me a D8.
Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah, you
and then
Sabrina does 30 dice she's rolled.
what does Fandom Geek give me?
It could give you a D8 or a D4 with a plot point.
I know, but I'm not sure.
If you can incorporate Fandom Geek, which I don't think you are in this case.
That would be tough.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's everything I've got.
Okay. So, roll it. For open transparency. Okay.
Yes.
For open transparency, what I was going to roll was a D12 ringleader and D12 greedy and D4 ex-con. Do you think ex-con matters in this case? Because what you're doing is you're just getting him to confess, and he already kind of has a record.
Well, I feel like ex-con would be sort of a detriment because of his existing records.
Yeah.
I think it does matter because he's obviously thinking that this is somehow dirty. Like it's even dirtier because that's how people like that think. They're just like, no, he's just trying to weasel in. So I'm on to you.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. 14. Do you want to spend a plot point to include that third die and make it a 15?
See.
Yep. All right. Excellent. So, I have failed to raise the stakes, so you give the mastermind a D6 asset, or can step up an existing asset by 1. So, sounds
useful.
to me like this is a confession D6, or what do you want to call it? What do you want to call it? Sloan, what do you want to call this asset?
Sorry, you cut out for a second. Confession D6 or what?
Or whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it.
Spill your guts.
Nice.
Spill your guts D6.
All right. Very well done. Who's next?
I am not even aware.
Wait, I'm not sure what are you next?
I have no clue about what I'm even going to do in this.
Well, I mean, consider, you've positioned yourself as Casanova.
Yeah.
In this plot. So what's the take here? Like, what are you planning on doing to? Remember that we still need to pull money out of his account.
Oh.
We need to get involved somehow. So like maybe that helps.
Well,
we have some time too. Like you can like this can also be like in the next couple days after we convince him that we're part of his crew. Maybe you get in with somebody, you are able to convince somebody to give you.
I mean, I think if we're going to continue, as far as like the wrap up goes, if we're going to continue playing the part as Casanova and knowing that I'm not trying to move in on his immediate turf, I've got to know where all of his ladies are going. So I'm going to wrap up with that. I'm going to try to get basically a pathing of every place they stop.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
I dig that. So let's call that. I don't know what attribute to pick, but definitely mastermind for that one.
I'll spend my plot point to give you a D10.
Yep.
Thank you.
What do we want to call this? Probably, I guess, alertness. Alertness makes the most sense to me.
Sure. Okay. So then D8, D4, D10, and can I use distinctions with this?
Yes.
Okay. I'm
or specialties.
gonna use winging. I'm gonna use winging it because I really am just like throwing caution to the wind here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like you are deep in this persona. I think, let's see. So he's gonna keep rolling D12 ringleader.
Yeah.
D12 greedy.
Sure.
So you can see like the full operation. I think probably D4 party boy might count in this one.
Yes.
Yeah. D4 party boy counts on this one.
That's such a great asset.
Yeah. All right. You roll
Okay.
first.
You got it. I got a 12. Okay.
Okay.
That's not.
You got a 10. You beat it.
All right.
The curse is broken. I finally.
Man, I was a little nervous about
Yeah.
that.
You're all
Yeah,
getting
no.
a little. Well, no, you're all getting better now. Like figuring out how this works. You need to like accrue plot points for the end. All right. So what do you want to call this D6? Operations or like victims.
Oh my god, I don't know why my brain just went to a really gross place. Since it's victims, but the way that it's working, we'll just call this D6 Grubhub. Yeah,
D6, but sure.
because they're
Yeah. No, I
you
get
can
it.
wrap your mind around that.
I gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. All right.
I get it. Yeah. They come and deliver for. Yeah. Okay. Clementine.
I'm having a hard time thinking how Clementine's skill set plays into what's going on here because it seems like a lot of the bases have already been covered. But maybe her job in all this has been to keep him loose and talking. So
I mean, you already have. So here's the thing: you already have the confession and the operations. Now you just need to get the money. Is there a way you can think of to get the money?
Do you have an idea, Scrim? Because I'm at a loss right now.
I have one, but I can't get
I've been
it.
in the hospital.
Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, he deals in women, right? So like, he deals in women. He already likes women.
So you've
were
been
like
hanging
the
out.
belle of the ball, right?
Yeah.
So
and you've been
utilize
hanging
that.
out in that penthouse for a while.
I
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
see you kind
All
of being
those
able to
sports
get
cars.
some strong access, some unfettered access to some files and other.
I kind of like what Oz was trying to sneak in there on the sly, like straight up stealing something. Like that's really in her character too, also.
Actually, you know what though? I think a good combination of that, because you want to get access to the bank accounts of not just his bank accounts, but also like the other people in the penthouse, right? That are part of this operation, right? That get sent out.
Yeah.
And then also the sports cars are some bonuses if you manage to get those sold off.
Right.
It could be an asset in the future.
We have a sports car.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And actually, yes. Hold on. How do you level up? You can get a new signature asset by spending one job. So for one job, you can have this sports car, which you already have.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
So you want to give yourself a sports car.
Yeah. So I feel like we just talked myself around in a circle, and I'm back to square one. What were you saying, Marie, Scrim? What were you suggesting?
I was saying you would have unfettered access, so you could probably get into places where he stores documents or something like that to get better access. Find some bank documents or something. This is my thought. Clementine would be good at doing that.
I could also see Clementine like in between spending long hours like in a bathing suit around the hot tub and like drinking champagne, lounging around, going out, quote unquote, right? And then coming back with cash that you can all provide because you're all rich anyway, right? And so it's like, look, I worked, I'm so popular, and then dropping it into his bank account to look legit. And then now is when you're going to be able to pull it all out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good idea, and I think at different times I'm also, like hanging out with him and being really flirty and playing with his phone and stealing his passwords and stuff like that. You know,
I like it. I like it.
Slowly collecting his sort of various means and information and
Cool. So let's call that alertness for sure, because you're trying to, make sure you can do all of this on the sly. Plus, I'm fine with grifter for this. Thief. Thief makes sense for this one, I think.
Add in a D10 from me.
And flirtatious is a
For
distinction
sure.
of mine.
For
I'm definitely doing that. Yeah. And I have a talent of how you doing, which allows me to, anytime I'm being seductive, add dice. I'm looking at exactly what the dice are. Oh, it's a D10.
Wow, you got a.
All right. Hey, everybody. Sorry, had a technical difficulty. We're back on. Let's go. So we were on Clementine. What was the plan finally for you?
Well, Clementine is going around and flicking her hair and flirting and doing all that and collecting, surreptitiously collecting information, playing with his phone, getting passwords, but also sneaking off and depositing money to be removed later, like all this kind of stuff, and I did roll because we discussed all that, and when you disappeared, the roll was I rolled a 14.
Yeah, I see it right there up at the top. Okay, so he's gonna roll, let's see, ringleader, D12 plus greedy D12 plus party boy well, actually, were you selling off his sports? Well, I don't think that would matter. I don't want to give him a D8 for sports car collector. So we'll just do D12 plus D12 plus D4 for party boy. And let me see. I don't think any of these other complications would have mattered, so let's bink. 13. Beat it by 1.
Wow.
So close.
So,
That massive fistful of dice.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
so tell me, what asset do we want to call this?
Transit numbers.
Yeah, I was thinking like
Cleaned
like
out?
yeah, that's a good one. I like that because she's been working on, that's what she's been working on all this time, like slowly making it happen. Slowly positioning us in a place where we can make it happen. Like she's collecting all this and setting everything up so that eventually she can pass that off to Sloan, and Sloan can just be like, beep, beep, Control-Alt-Delete on your bank account.
Just drain all of it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So finally, once everybody but the mastermind has had a shot, it's the mastermind's turn. The player rolls an appropriate attribute, usually intelligence or alertness, plus mastermind, adding all of the assets her crew has produced for her, and any that might already be out there.
Okay. So, I think I want this final showdown to happen in his penthouse.
Mm-hmm.
And please just stop me if I'm taking too many liberties, because this is what I'm imagining. That the, all of the women working for him have been maybe not tipped off, but they are out of the way. They are not there. They've figured out this is hot and they're getting out of Dodge.
Okay.
And so Marika walks in, essentially by herself. And I think at this point he knows some shit's going down. So she walks in by herself, and maybe the others are outside as backup in case he gets violent.
Yeah, he's got his bodyguards with him for sure.
Yeah. You know what? And then I think what I would probably also bring, I feel like possibly Dean pulled during his Grubhub operation, pulled a few of them over to his side, like basically, again, stop me if I'm taking too many liberties, but like basically like being like, this guy treats you like shit, you don't have to take it anymore, we're gonna take him down. Finding the right ones to kind of turn. And so we have kind of like a posse. We got a bunch of us all walking in together.
You've basically like turned everybody against him.
Yeah.
That's what the plan is with this roll.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, perfect. So we have a few people on our side. He's got his bodyguards. He's probably super duper pissed about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't think of any other assets we got from the whole job. We did find out that stuff about the police. That he was working with the police. Would that be considered an asset?
Yes, could be, for sure. Actually, yeah, we can call that a D6.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, anybody that was able to get an asset, potentially, like the flip phone. I don't know if that would count.
Yes.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
It would. Yeah, that's true. You would have like a case.
I remembered the flip.
Yes, that's the thing. That's the thing that happened. Okay, so that's good. I'm up to 5 right now. Yeah. So Marika walks in, and she's wearing very high heels to try to look taller. Mm-hmm. She's very short. And she says, "Hello, Rico."
What the fuck did you do to all? I'm still like kind of enamored with like him losing all of his sports cars. They've been sold off. He's like, what did you do? What did you do to my sports cars?
Not all of them. I kept one for you.
Well, most of them, needed to be sold to cover the bills. I'm sure you're aware that you are a little short of cash right about now.
What? What the fuck? Guys, take them out! And he's like trying to like rally his troops. So I would like you to roll your mastermind to see if you can properly control this situation.
Okay, so is this like the full thing? All these assets?
All those, yeah, everything.
This is intelligence
everything that
plus
you've
mastermind?
worked. Mhm, yes. So for him, he's gonna roll D12 ringleader, D12 greedy, D4 ex-con, he doesn't want to go back. D8 sports car collector because he's pissed about that.
Like Shadowrun dice roll off all again.
Yeah, and I kind of want to add the bodyguards D10, but I'm gonna lower them to a D8 because you've spoken with them. So
Yeah, they know they're not gonna get paid. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna upgrade my intelligence and both my mastermind using these two of these assets. I'm gonna upgrade to D12s on those, so I have 2 D12s. I'm going to use my distinction adds insult to injury because I'm also stealing sports cars. So that's a D8. So 2 D12s and a D8, and then I have 3 D6 as well.
And 46 actually because of that flip phone, right?
Yep.
Because you have extra,
I
extra
added that
evidence.
in already.
Okay.
Well, you got
Pretty sure.
you got
I
all of our D6s as well, right?
So I took 2 of those and used them to upgrade my mastermind and intelligence to D12s.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So D12, D8, 2 D12, D8.
I think I might add the party boy D4 too because like the party's over. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. All right. So he's got 2 D12s, 2 D4s, 2 D8s.
Come
Oh
on,
boy,
RNG.
here we go.
The game says it's supposed to be a nice big roll off. So 10.
Oh, this one feels really good. This one feels really good.
Excellent. So, if the fixture doesn't raise the stakes, then that's it for the mark. His plans unravel, and agents and extras turn on him. The details are generally contingent on the job itself, the story so far, and so on. So yeah, so like he's like screaming in the middle of the room. He's like, "Get them! Take them all out! Take all these bastards out!" And everyone's like, "Sorry." Like one of the bodyguards just kind of steps forward. It's like, "Sorry, Rico, party's over, man." He's like, "No, no." So yeah, so you can describe the rest of the wrap up.
Yeah, so Marika kind of crosses her arms and leans back and says, well, it's not all bad news. You'll still have a place to live. Don't worry. And then just then the red and blue lights of the cop cars are like illuminated on the roof. And then oh, okay, so there's one sports car left and she nods to Clementine. To and nods towards the sports car. This is the insult.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't think they're going to be having any use for this for this final piece of equipment. So we may as well use it for our future endeavors.
And Clementine for sure doesn't just get into this sexy orange Lamborghini that she stole, but she's got one of the bodyguards kind of like locked in her arm and like walking with him and like kisses him on the cheek, and then they both get into it and drive off.
Love it.
Good luck, Rico. And Marika walks away.
Nice. And so we like cut away to Rico being taken away in handcuffs, and you have like easily over $1 million in acquired funds. So how do you want to wrap that up for our good old client Marcos?
So she'll meet with Marcos at the hospital. And she comes in and she brings flowers. I don't know if anybody else is coming with.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Clementine's coming.
Yeah.
Clementine was raised in the
Sloan's there
South.
too.
She has to visit.
And so yeah, she kind of just knocks on the door.
Yeah. And when the door's opened by like a relative of Jamie, and Jamie's actually like awake now, and he's kind of like in sort of better spirits, and like he's like Marcos is like feeding him like the little compote, and says, "Oh, so what happened?"
You been reading the paper, sweetie?
Well, what? He has no idea anything that had to do with Rico. He didn't know the full extent of all of this.
Well, she pulls up on her phone like a news article or whatever of him being arrested and shows it to him. We took care of your problem. And also, I want you to take this video, and it's a recording of when Jessica was, saying her part, having her part in the conversation where she ripped off his grandfather. I wanted to say, you might want to show this video to your grandfather. Might help him be a little bit more cautious next time.
Oh, well, thank you. Glad you got to the bottom of it. Sucks about our accounts though. But thank you so much. Seriously, this is a big, and I'm glad that somebody paid for what they did to Jamie.
Don't worry, we were able to recover everything. This is the money that, and she hands him an envelope. This should help cover your bills here as well.
Yeah, I was about to say that we should have a little bit of extra in there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and Marcos like tears up, and he just like gives Marika a big hug, and just kind of like hugs all around, and says, "Oh my God, thank you so much. I did not expect it to go like this at all. I thought you were all crazy."
I told you it wasn't a threat.
Sometimes we do too.
Thank you so much, seriously. And he like shows the check to Jamie, and Jamie's like, "Can I get up now?"
I feel better.
Yeah, and so like you're like outside. We like cut to you guys standing outside in the hospital hallway, right, and just kind of watching through the window, like through the blinds, right, and like the whole family is like, hugging and happy that you've resolved, and you can all just basically watch with a heartfelt job well done feeling. What does everybody think in this moment?
Clementine's tearing up. She loves seeing family. She loves family. She never had a family, so.
Dean probably apologizes for being gross. I'm sorry, I kind of delayed on Thick back there, and I know I may have invaded some personal spaces, so don't hate me, please.
Marika looks up at him and says, "Sure, just don't ever call me sweetheart again."
You got it.
You can call me sweetheart anytime you want.
Clementine's down.
All right, sorry. I accidentally clicked my outro music before Sloan could go, but
I mean, Sloane's just she's got her mustache on, obviously. So
she's so weird.
Yeah.
Sean.
Yes. Well, I mean, Sloane, she's hanging out. Not very sentimental, our Sloane. But she does think that it's hysterical that Marika told Dean not to call her sweetheart. So she's just crying, laughing. Like tears are filling up the mustache. And she's like, "Oh no, I've got to
Start filling up the mud.
It's gonna fall off. You're gonna drop the glue."
I love it.
Excellent. Yep. All right, and that was our second official job of leverage.
Yeah. By the way,
Oh,
I
is
will
it?
make it clear and known. Yes, I am spending that job to get the signature asset of that Lamborghini.
Oh, that's
Yes.
gonna be sweet in the future.
Yes, and I'm gonna be a nice GM and say that because you earned it this job and you got it as a D6, I will allow you to upgrade that to a D8
Nice.
Sweet.
if you're gonna spend the job on it.
Yes.
So does that become like a shared asset, or is that just for Clementine?
I think it's for, well, I mean, you could share assets between each other.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, drive off. Like the final shot is Lambo.
Perfect.
Awesome. Oh, that was a good session. What did everybody think?
That was
I
really
was on the
fun.
fence until he got beat up. I was like, look, Gramps is just a horny old man that doesn't really count for his funds. And they're like, yeah, no, he got beat up. That guy's fucked up. I was like, oh, okay, now that.
But now we gotta take him down. Yeah, that raised the stakes for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, when do I release this twist? No, I mean, yeah, so okay, glad you all liked it. This is like one of those weird sessions. I was like, this is gonna be a little bit of like expectations are low and then all of a sudden just ramps up kind of deals. So I was,
Yeah.
all right, well, it's late, so let's all do our outros. And starting with Marika, Scrim.
Hello, I'm Scrim. You can find me in 2 weeks here on Leverage, and on February 25th, we are launching Kids on Bikes. Yeah. Bobby's part of that cast, also Cassie and Palmer, so you don't want to miss that. Yeah, there's me on the Twitters. I sometimes twit. Yeah, I'll be back here in a couple of weeks. Occasionally, you can find me on Gamers Table doing a GM show, Big 20. So check for that on Sundays.
Excellent. Bub, tell me who you are, what you do.
Hi guys, I'm Bub. A lot of you probably already know that, but just in case you don't, I'm Bub. I do a lot of tabletop stuff all over the internet. I'm here every other Monday, and back on my channel Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We do some RP there. Thursdays with Oz as we tackle some Blades in the Dark. It's Dogs of Duskfall. And Friday I'm off. Saturday I'm over on the Roll For It channel where we do some VTM with the Silence of Shadows. Lots of RP all the time, and RPGs that aren't just tabletop consistently. So just look me up as the Bubbernaut and find me in all the places.
Excellent. Sabrina, tell us who you are, what you do.
Hello, Sabrina here. So this is my second game on this wonderful, amazing, spectacular network called the Shadowcasters Network. And I like to I like to play games. I play with Oz IRL and online, and I got roped in happily. So you can find me previously on Night Witches with Scrim, who was an excellent GM, and here on Leverage every 2 weeks.
Nice. Bobby, who you are, what you do.
Hey, my name is Bobby Frankenberger, and I am here on the Shadowcasters Network. I'm like Oz, one of the co-founders of this here thing you're watching. I'm doing this as Scrim mentioned. I'm doing Kids on Bikes in a week. Is it really just a week away?
Wow.
It is just 1 week away. 8 days.
So that's pretty amazing.
Nice.
I'm also, you can find me on Twitter at GM Funkytown. I'm experimenting now with doing some game streaming on my own Twitch channel, twitch.tv/BobbyFranks, that I just put in there. You can what can you do? You can like click on my name and just follow it that way. If you're in the chat right now. Just doing some chill game streaming here and there. So nothing too crazy. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now is stuff on here, and I've got a lot of irons in the fire that I will one day release information about. But lots of projects
Under NDA.
being worked on in the background. So big things coming.
Nice.
Huge.
Huge. And I'm Oz. You can find me on Twitter, OZZKORE. You should also check out our YouTube on Shadowcasters Network, where we have all of our actual play VODs listed. So if you liked this game and want to see the previous ones, you can catch up. Or if you want to watch any of the other things that have been mentioned, such as Night Witches or the eventual Kids on Bikes, plus a bunch of other stuff that we've done. Join the Anarchy, the Sprawl, Misspent Youth, lots of cool stuff. Go check that out. And you can also join our Discord at shadowcasters.network/discord, where we can hang out and talk about Leverage and all of our other cool shows. Yeah, so I'm also one of the co-founders of Shadowcasters Network, and I'm writing a couple of RPGs soon, so follow me for that. And I play Blades on Bubbernut. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. All right, everybody. Thank you for an excellent session, and we shall see you in 2 weeks. The next session would be what, March 3rd? Yep.
Yes.
No, March 2nd.
March 2nd.
I just spent all day at the hospital with my wife getting surgery, and I want to say, if any of you are nurses out there, nurses are amazing people.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Mm-hmm. And they deserve all of the alcoholism that they normally
Deserve? Are we using that word?
They
merit all the alcohol?
They merit the alcohol.
They
merit their
either.
alcoholism. Yes.
They've earned it. You've
Look, I also
earned
have
that addiction.
Yeah, no, I have a nurse. I have a nurse friend. I have several nurse friends, and yeah, they merit their alcoholism.
Yeah.
Anyway, love nurses.
His wife is fine,
awesome.
by the way.
Yes.
It was a
He is fine?
gallbladder surgery. I'm sorry. It was it's nothing terrible or anything. She was just getting her gallbladder removed. But nurses, we've been in the hospital for various things over my lifetime, and that's something I thought about today, was that nurses, they are tirelessly making a very unpleasant experience as pleasant as it can possibly be, and it's quite a thankless job, I'm sure, and it just was on my mind today that nurses are amazing. So
Yep. Toss a coin to your nurse. All right, everybody, have a great night, and see you in 2 weeks.
Bye, guys.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.